Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will probably drown miserably while attempting to survive the turbulent waters that are Dungeons and Dragons. I am, as ever, your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, joined via telepresence today by Robbie Bellekom, and in person by Sam Burns and Ellie Sparrow. Hello, how are we all?
We're in Devon!
Yes. We're in Devon!
With Sam!
I'm not!
Yes!
Robbie's not in Devon because we hate her. No. Don't be joking, she's just working lots.
Yeah.
Yes, more than the rest of us.
Yes.
Today,
Robbie's actually the only working actor present right now.
Yeah.
So,
So we're sorry that you couldn't be here, Robbie, but on the plus side, you have a career.
yes,
Yes.
we're very glad about that.
Oh, I have a job. I don't know about a career.
Being an owl is a career.
Some would say it's an odd career choice, but it's certainly definitely a career choice.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes.
So, yes, as mentioned, we are recording today in our guest location of Devon. And as ever, I'm going to give us a brief moment for future us to do any announcements or advertisements. Future Jason here. This week on Robbie Watch, you can catch her in Bournemouth until Saturday evening. She'll be in Cheltenham the following week, so if you're in Bournemouth this week, you can catch her in Awful Auntie. That's pretty much it for this week, but remember that you can follow the party on our globe-trotting maps, available on our website, flintllocksandfireballs.com, and on Facebook and Twitter. Oh, and past us, we hate you too. God, I hate future us. They're a bunch of pillars,
They're
aren't
so
they?
smug. Like, listen to how well they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just lording it over us.
They just forgot how much trouble we went through to set up this crazy guest situation here.
Oh,
I'm
don't get me started on
to
technical
describe
problems.
to you the recording setup that is happening. So me and Sam are on the floor at one end of the room.
As we should.
We have a DM screen in between us because our character sheets are full of spoilers and we can't look at each other's character sheets. And we're sharing a microphone on the floor with my laptop on a chair because that's the only place it will connect to the internet so we can all hear each other. And Jason is at the other end of the room behind
At the
another
end of
DM
a
screen.
comically long dinner table.
Yeah, on his own. At the
on
end of
my
a comically
own.
long dinner table. And we're just sort of staring at each other from completely opposite ends of the room in this very, very artificial way. It's very strange.
You are functionally in a different room right now.
Yeah, there is actually a dividing wall between us.
Yeah. I mean, not a full one.
Like, it's like,
cut
I'm
out.
staring at you through a proscenium arch.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric. The DM
Yes.
looks very powerful from down
Yeah.
here. But
There will possibly be pictures on the social media, because by the time you hear this, we will have one of those.
yes, we will.
Okay, so, with that out of the
Hopefully
way.
with thousands of followers.
Indeed. With that out of the way, I'm going to bring us in. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our party, having successfully evaded aerial attacks, made their way to the port town of Pader's March on the edge of a certain amount of swampland. After being interviewed per se by, or at least contacted by multiple parties seeking their aid, one a fairly cut and dry game hunting mission for cockatrice parts, the other two of certain moral dubiousness. The party ventured into the swamps, surviving the lightning sand, encountering twig blights, but no ROUSs, and successfully managing to bag some cockatrice heads. The party were met by none other than Olga Gristlegums, the witch of the swamp. After some conversation, the party agreed to carry a letter for her back to the mayor of Pader's March, Mayor Merton Off, in exchange for a price of 3 healing potions, a letter which would, purportedly at least, formally end the contract the mayor had with the old hag. In addition, the party made their own bargains with Olga to varying effects. It is now coming past sundown. The 3 of you are making your way back through the swamps of Pader's March. It's at least a 2-hour journey back to town. Assuming you wish to brave it through the night, which, given the exhausted state of some of you and the actually increasingly unwell state of one in particular, may or may not be a questionable choice. If you would like to proceed, I'm going to ask one of you to make a survival check to lead you.
Did we have time
through the
for a
woods.
short rest?
I'm going to say you
Before
can
we
take
rest.
time now for a short rest. You
we
you
have
make
a
it a
short
short
rest?
distance out of the away from the clawed hand house and just plop down on a log and breathe and panic.
I can do Song of Rest if we do that.
That's
We'll use
probably
hit dice.
wise.
Should we do that?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so Celestia is going to sing a pretty mournful song about somebody being carried away on a ship. And you're all, if you use a hit dice, you get another d6, because that's a Song of Rest.
Lovely.
Yeah, and it's a very, despondent song. It's not her usual style. That was a waste of an 8 because I'm only down 2 hit points, but never mind.
It's all
Back up
good.
to full anyway.
So,
Cracking. How you doing, Robs?
Yeah, full.
Cracking.
I was only
less
down
horrifying.
8, so.
Okay, so after your much needed break, for bearing in mind the harrowing ordeal you've experienced, respectively, you begin to work your way back through the now very dark marshes. Can I please ask for a survival check?
roll that.
Yep.
Yeah, we should let roll survival. Ooh.
Okay, that's going to be a 21.
Okay. At one point, as you work your way back through the uncertain marches, working your way through the swamps, the mangrove trees up ahead, you very nearly cross a small sort of quite almost like a large stream on the handy log in the river, but just in time, causing you spot the telltale back of an alligator lying in wait, and successfully evade having a leg bitten off.
Oh, good lord, that would not have been fun.
Let's go around this one, guys.
You are able to
you
make
do.
it back, however, with
Oh, it's so past my bedtime.
with only about 2.5 hours of journey. By the time you return, it's probably coming up to maybe 10 o'clock at night, like a little before or after 10th bell. But you do make it back into town. Corzin, you in this time have started to find yourself sweating. You feel cold and shivery, and there's kind of still a leftover retching sensation. Can I ask you to perform a medicine check, please?
A medicine check, okay.
Yes.
That's going to be an 18.
Nice.
You're a little afraid of the conclusion you come to, but having thought about it, yeah, there's not really much other possibility except what you think it is. Ordinarily transmitted through being scratched or bitten by diseased rats or similar, You think that the egg you swallowed has caused you to contract filth fever. It's a disease that you're familiar with. It's not completely uncurable. You have known of cases where people will survive by sheer dint of physical constitution, but there's about a 5% survival rate without treatment. And unfortunately, the only treatment that will work is some sort of magic potion or spell to remove disease. While a simple mundane means to cure this disease does exist, penicillin won't be discovered for at least another century. So I'm afraid you are shit out of luck on that front.
Yeah, but if Celestia happens to go down with it, she's laughing.
Why do I have some sort of immunity? Or,
No, it's just you'll live that long.
Oh, true. Actually, yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll take a.
Well, not with
elf.
not with filth fever. You won't. You know that this has a chance to kill you over the course of a week, depending on its progression.
All right.
So it's one to get sorted as quickly as possible. There are still a few lights on in the town here and there where people are burning burning the late night oil at least. Certainly in the tavern.
Okay. So is it sort of midnight-ish?
Like I say, it's about 10 in the evening.
Oh, okay.
But people are starting to go home to sleep if they're at the
Right.
tavern. Others
I
are
am just going to keep an eye out and see if the apothecary is by any chance still open.
Fortunately, yes, she is. In terms, there are a couple of buildings that have the light on that you can see. The garrison, of course, this coastal fortress. The shrine to St. Mananon, there's a light on in there, and indeed, as well as the mayor's house, the apothecary's hut does have a light on in the back. It seems that she is working late.
Well, we're going to have to go there in order to collect on the cockatrice anyway.
True. I'm going to roll to see if I notice you looking bad, because I'm basically rolling a
How much do we notice?
medicine
this?
check.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
Can I do an insight check to see if I?
Oh, that's a natural 20, which is like
no,
the
this
most
is a
boring
medicine check.
natural 20 I've ever rolled.
It's a medicine check
I'm rolling to
to
see if I can
identify
tell you
symptoms.
look ill. I roll a natural 20.
I don't even notice you're ill then.
Yeah.
It's medicine I've got.
Corzin seems to be instinctively hiding it a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell the pallid sweat, the fever, like there's signs of an oncoming fever. Because it was a natural 20, although you don't have training.
I wouldn't know exactly what it is.
You have once seen you did once see a slave come down with filth fever, and they just it was easier to just kill him quietly with poison than bother to get magical healing.
Oh god.
Because it was going to kill him either way.
Corzin, how are you feeling? You look not good.
Oh, well, still got a bit of that, bad aftertaste in the back of your throat.
No, you're like grey and sweating.
Is he?
Yeah, I've seen someone looking like you before, and their prognosis was not good. You're a surgeon. What can we do here? Any ideas? Anything?
I think if it's what I think it is, then our best chance is going to the apothecary and hoping she has something.
Okay, let's get there right
Let's
now.
do that then.
Yeah.
Okay. You head directly to the apothecary's. The door is closed, but knocking on it is about 30 seconds before you hear... And the same halfling woman, long blonde hair. She's... actually, she appears to be in... it looks like she's wearing her sort of bedclothes, but she has a hastily thrown over robe on top of them.
Does she have hair curlers in?
Ooh.
Somebody is asking the important question.
No, but the 3 braids she had it in before have been unbraided for bed.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And she's currently holding up a little candle on a candle holder and sort of picks. Oh, hello. You recognise, of course, Emelina. Yes. Oh, you're back already. Come in. Best to get these as fresh as possible. And she welcomes you in.
Sorry to bother you, but it's not just about the cockatrice heads. Our friend here has quite the problem. We were wondering if you knew any way to help. I think he can probably explain it better than I can.
Well, come in. Sit down. I'll get you something to drink. And she comes back with 3 small clay, ceramic cups and a pitcher full of what appears to be ale, like thin ale.
Right.
Rather than... Because fresh water's a bit of a premium around here.
Corzin drinks it quietly.
Okay. If you could just... she holds up the candle. Okay, touches the bottom of your eye. Could you look up for me? Side to side. Okay, she takes your pulse. Okay, stick out your tongue for me, please. After about 10 minutes of checks... Did you come into contact with any large rats, perhaps of unusual size?
He ate an egg.
An egg?
It
was gross.
It was a sort of
super gross.
Black, red, glowy egg thing. Had a sort of little tadpole.
I haven't heard anything like that.
Look, I know what this is. Just, do you happen to have any arcane purgatives?
I don't understand how you got this from Nick, but yes, let's be forthright about this. I believe you have filth fever, and if you know what this is, you know what that means.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm entirely out. The last time I made any was months ago. The garrison holds track of that, but... Okay, first things first, do you have the cockatrice heads? And how many?
Yes.
Yes.
How many do we have? 6?
2 adults.
5?
3 babies, wasn't it?
Oh, that's fine. The babies will work. She kind of looks them over. Thank goodness. Okay, so putting the sack to one side. Right, well, with that in mind, then yes. The good news is I can make you a potion that would of a general disease restoration of the arcane variety. I'll do that, no charge for the labour or the materials. The problem is, okay, how much do you know about the division between alchemy and chemistry?
A reasonable amount. Go on.
Yeah, so as you know, whereas a chemist exploits the physical properties of different chemicals, for instance, the interaction of charcoal and sulfur and saltpeter allows us to create black powder. That is an example of chemistry. Alchemy is a little different, although classically alchemists used to perform both. Alchemy is I hesitate to say art, it is a science in itself, of preserving magical effects from natural sources. For instance, the magical petrification ability of a cockatrice's beak. There are certain herbs and plants and other creatures that you could take. For instance, there is a potion that can, for a limited time, hold the restorative and regenerative abilities of, say, a troll. Now, if I can get hold of a piece of a creature or plant that with that sort of hyperactive and magical resistance and curative powers against disease, I can brew that in a potion for you in about 4 hours. The better news is, I think I know where you can get one.
Where?
That is good news.
The bad news is, there's a reason I don't normally send people after this. Okay, there is a type of carnivorous plant called the strangling rose. If anyone wants to see if they've heard of this, you can make a nature check.
Right.
Yep.
Will do. I have not.
Oh, neither of us have.
Nope.
Okay, no, you've never heard of this before.
I don't think I've heard of roses. I rolled so badly.
We both rolled a 2 and a 4.
Yeah.
So,
I got a 1.
Oh, wow. Well done, guys.
You're
Nice.
thinking. You're like Scamp. You're imagining like just like a rose, but with such a heady scent that it makes your throat swell up. Okay, the strangling rose is. Have you encountered things like twig blights or vine blights before?
Yeah, we
Yes,
ran
we-
into a
yes.
couple.
We
Okay.
met some twig blights quite
Right.
recently, actually.
They burn real good.
They do.
Okay, similar policy there. By the way, nobody got over a 10 on their nature check, did they?
No.
No.
We rolled a 1, a
Alright.
2, and a 4.
So, they are usually, they resemble very loosely a large rose bush, and they do have rose-like flowers. They're a distinctive sort of blue type of rose. Very pretty. They use it to lure in prey. It tends to smell quite nice as well. But as with all sorts of mobile carnivorous plants of this type, their goal is to kill large animals and then sit on the remains, essentially, and digest them, use them for nutrients. You get them a lot in swamps where there's not a lot of good ground. The strangling rose, as might be expected, strangles people. It tends to engulf them and crush them with its vines and its thorns and just hold them until they are strangled to death. And then once they stay still, it will just wait and consume them.
Consume how, if it's...
They will...
The rose.
I believe it exudes a sort of digestive acid, but over a very long time. Mostly it just lets them rot and then puts...
That's
and then puts,
spiders.
puts feelers into
That's
them.
properly grim, isn't it?
I know the location of one strangling rose, and she actually pulls out and she gives you some very specific directions because it's on the list of no-go areas. There have been attempts by travellers and by some soldiers to capture or destroy this particular strangling rose plant, and they have, for the most part, not returned, which is why I would not send most people out, and I certainly would not send you out to try and kill it or destroy it. The good news is the strangling rose does possess this sort of magical resistance and curative property against disease of all kinds. It does not suffer from any sort of disease. And that is transferred into its seed pods. Now, the seed pods, they're not, unlike the bright blue roses, they are a sort of dull green, and they're about the size of... I'd say about the size of a turkey's egg, so a little larger than a chicken egg. And she kind of mimes the size. And they look quite similar. If you're looking for something like a large green egg on a stalk. If you can get that egg, that seed pod off, all you need to do is retrieve one of those and bring it back to me, and that is enough for me to make a potion out of it.
What's your price? Is it just the cockatrice?
No, the cockatrice payment's already been arranged for that. I'll pay you for that in a moment with one that I prepared earlier of one of those potions. I'm happy to do this. Labour is free. I like you. You've done me a real favour by bringing me this many cockatrice heads. I just don't have the material myself.
Thank you. We appreciate you putting yourself out like that.
These strangling roses, can they move independently?
Yes, not the roses themselves. The whole bush moves as one. From what I understand, they're a little slower than you or I would be able to move, and certainly slower than the elf or the dwarf would be able to move at. So you can outrun them, but the problem is that they do shuffle much faster than you'd expect.
A question. The seed pods, are they fixed or do they move with the bush? Or
They move with the
somewhere
bush.
nearby?
You will need to cut one off or get one off.
Okay, so
somewhere.
they'll be on the bush.
Yes.
basically.
The bush should have several seed pods. You just need to get one of the pods off as intact as you can and bring it back here. I strongly encourage you, do not get an extended sort of fight with this thing. All you need is one pod.
Cut
Because
and run.
yes, it would otherwise it will likely kill you if you try and get an extended fight with it.
Okay.
Right, you are. Well, I suppose that's what we're going to have to do tomorrow morning then.
Yeah. Or we could... And we could do this now. We only have to do our other thing by midnight tomorrow.
It's dark out. We're in no fit state.
You're right, I forget that dark is a problem for other people. Yes. Tomorrow morning.
Should we just go bang on this door and deliver the letter now, though, just so it's done?
Yeah, we could. I mean, I am wary of his curse.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I don't trust the witch. I mean, that sounds obvious. Don't trust the witch. Let's deliver the letter. And
I
then
also
have
don't trust the mayor, though, and if he goes crazy on us, we're also,
while
as
you're
Corzin said,
discussing
not in a great
this,
state.
The alchemist Emelina does quickly count out 45 gold crowns for you as payment for the 3 baby heads, and for the 2 adult heads, she passes you a small vial of anonymous-looking grey sludge. As I say, coat a weapon such as a blade in this, or an arrow or a bolt, but not a bullet. As I said, that will deactivate it. It should be good for 1 shot, and she passes it to you. I will, and again, I'll write this down for you guys. But whoever takes it, the basic statistic for that is it is an injury poison, although it's technically a magical effect. It triggers a Constitution save versus DC 11. On a failure, the target is restrained and starts turning to stone. At the end of its next turn, it repeats the save. If it's successful, it shrugs it off. If it succeeds, it turns to stone for 24 hours.
I think Corzin should take that, because he's the one that uses knives the most.
Yeah.
We're all a bit... Well, frankly, you and me is sort of spells, and I'm also gun. I've used a rapier once. The entire time.
I've got a small knife, and that is all.
You've got a small knife in your hands.
Yeah.
And your sorcery stuff.
That's quite
Yeah.
enough, thank you.
Okay. You. So, what do you guys want to do from here?
What do we think, guys? Do we wait until we've had a break to do everything, or... I mean, the most
I
urgent
want to
thing
shove the
is
letter in his hands
you.
and then just run away.
We could pop
That's a
round,
terrible
couldn't we?
idea.
If he's still up and about, yeah, I don't see why not.
Let's go. There's no reason to assume he's going to do anything to us. If anything, we've made his life easier, haven't we?
He sent us in there to kill this thing, and we've come back with her demonstrably not dead.
No.
There's that.
There is that.
But we did break the deal.
We did.
Possibly.
I don't know. I have a feeling in my waters. What if we get caught there and we can't go and get your plant that you need?
What if that takes ages and the witch steals a small child?
The location that she's marked out is about an hour's travel away from town.
Right.
Hours travel.
It's an hour's travel, so assuming you got there and got the seed pod you needed and made it back, it would take you around 2.5 to 3 hours total, depending on how much time you spent searching. That's your estimation based on what she said.
Right. Definitely something to do in the hours of daylight.
Yes, definitely if we're travelling.
It's just, I mean, you saw that alligator back there. We got lucky.
We did. We shouldn't do that at night. I mean, I'm fine at night, but
Until
clearly
something
nobody
grabs
else
you and
is
then we
because your
can't.
eyes are all stupid. So
My eyes are great.
you can't. The sun goes down. You can't see anything. How are those good eyes?
I can see just fine.
Yeah. You may be able to see in the dark, but anything smart's going to take you out first.
What do you mean by that? Yeah, I suppose you're right there, actually.
Anything that knows you can see in the dark knows that we can't.
I
Yeah.
can.
You can a bit. I can a lot.
Okay.
Underdark. You can see better than everybody else. Right, anyway, let's go to the mayor or go to bed, either way. What are we doing?
Up to you.
Flip a coin.
Yes, okay. Out of character, this is a D4. Okay, so, no, you know, we'll do D20, because that's always more fun. So, this is D20, anything, below a 10?
Oh, I would say odds and evens if it's a flipping
Odds and
coin.
evens. So, odds, we go see the mayor.
Right.
Evens, we go to bed, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Obviously, this is all OC, because we're not
Yeah.
sat there
Yeah.
in character rolling a D20.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Okay,
We're
so that's
flipping a
odds.
coin.
So, I think we're going to see the mayor.
Right.
Shit, let's hope he's not annoyed with us. Right, let's go.
Okay.
Before Celestia gets any more impatient.
As you head out towards the mayor's, it happens to coincide with a point where the tavern is actually opening up. The Wilker's Joy is, its doors are opening and a large crowd of people are starting to come out, making their way back towards their homes. There's a bit of a slightly convivial atmosphere. You can hear a couple of sailors. These seem to be mostly locals. Maybe a couple of sailors still from the from.
Are they still
Charles
drinking?
Regret. Yeah, it's been a
They've
long.
been drinking since 10 this morning.
Yeah, it's a different shift for the most part. Although you
Yeah.
can see Seaman Salt still in there, very unsteadily.
Oh, Stephen Salts can't be looking good by this point. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
she usually wins the drinking contests on the ship, but
She's hardcore, I'll give her that.
Woman's got hollow legs.
yeah, but it's mostly
Apparently so.
different crew. And there's also a lot of the locals as well, local fishermen and workers. So most of the population of the crowd, I'm going to say like 90% is locals, and they're making their way out again, kind of unsteadily. In places, but there's a convivial atmosphere. You can hear a couple of them arguing about the 13 Years' War and whether Bright Hall should get involved in the current conflicts with between Seoul and Ossyria and all of that. You're mostly filtering it as noise, but they are actually walking more or less the same way to you. As a lot of houses are in the same area as the mayor's, and you find your way to the mayor's house, and you can see that in front. There's actually quite a large sort of open space in front of it. Several tables have been dragged out in preparation for the festivities in tomorrow. The guards remember you, kind of give you a nod. Hello there. Yes, you're a bit late.
I'm sorry, we've got a letter for the mayor. It has to be delivered in person.
Oh, I see.
Part of the contract.
That's quite right. Well, wait here, would you? He knocks on the door, and a few minutes later, a kind of very haggard, elderly-looking male human comes to the door. Yes. Is there people? Yes. There's a letter for the mayor. Has to be delivered directly. I'll go get him. Turns around and sees his elderly servant.
It's like
wander
Chinese
back.
whispers. So many people all telling each other to go and get the mayor.
And you're actually left waiting at the doorstep, and the mayor himself comes out, and you can see Clara off behind him, the little girl, kind of looking out, peering out with curiosity. And you're like, they've not let you into the doorway, so you're standing slightly outside, and he comes out, again, beautiful looking Mertinoff. Hello. Sorry, Gunter there said you had something for me. Is it good news? He looks a little anticipatory.
It is good news. We've got a letter for you. We've solved your problem. It's not quite how you expected it to be solved, but I think it should please you nonetheless. I hand him the letter.
You press the letter into his hands.
Yes.
The moment it touches his hands, the purple thread snaps, and the letter.
I step back. I just
you
step
pull
back and
right
put my
back.
hands
The
up.
letter the envelope flips open, and a letter starts to emerge. It's just held in midair for a moment. Actually, no, it's stuck to his hands. It seems to be stuck to his hands, and a booming voice calls
It's a howler.
out.
Oh my god, it's a
over-
fucking howler.
Calls out over the whole of town.
Shit.
Can I hide?
As this is
Is there
happening,
anywhere
you
to
hear,
hide?
Okay, this I did not see coming.
Dear Mertin Off, Mayor of Pader's March, I, the witch in the swamps, known commonly as Olga Gristlegums, do formally and with immediate effect release you from our contract. As it is well known that Olga Gristlegums does not lie, you can be sure that these words are binding. To be clear, I am releasing you from the contract that we made 9 years ago, in which I pledged to cure you of your desperately ugly features so that you could win over the hearts and minds of those wretched peons, your words, not mine, that I might more generously call your neighbours. In return, you pledged to me your firstborn daughter, delivered safely to me upon her 7th birthday for whatever use I, the hideous witch in the swamps, might have for her. After all, you said, you can keep any other sons or daughters, so it isn't that bad a deal. Again, your words, not mine.
Oh my
For the
God.
avoidance of doubt, I have enclosed the original copy of our contract, signed by your hand in your own blood. It can be found within this envelope, provided, of course, that you, Mayor Mertin Off, are not currently trying to destroy it. No doubt such an action would prove highly suspicious.
At this point, Mertin, finding that he can't get his hand off, is desperately trying to rip the pages, but they're not tearing. People are starting to gather around. The latecomers from the pub.
God.
They are staring, open-mouthed. Clara behind is open-mouthed as well. Even the guards are looking as he's desperately trying to get rid of this.
Parchment doesn't rip like
Yeah,
that.
the
I would like to hide, please.
yeah, make a hide check.
I think maybe we should all.
As this is happening, tell me your hide check in a moment.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, well, tell me anyway now. Scamp?
7.
7, okay. So Scamp immediately tries to just hide behind someone else's legs, probably Celestia's at this point, while the voice continues, audible across the whole town.
Unfortunately, the painful and undignified death by drowning of your wife Ava, the most beautiful girl in town, it's not so many months after the birth of your firstborn, who, by the grace of the spirits, just so happened to be a daughter, did unfortunately preclude the birth of future children. So sorry about that. By the way, I would like to take the opportunity here to clear up a dreadful misconception. Your wife, Ava Off, neighbour niece, did indeed drown, but not in a fishing accident. Why, there was nothing accidental about it. Ava threw herself off the cliffs in an act of suicide. Why, you might ask? Why would a beautiful, lucky girl, married to the finest and most handsome man in town, want to end it all? Well, it's not the place of an old busybody like me to say, but I'm going to anyway. You see, she just couldn't live with the truth.
More people are gathering in now. The mayor is just trying everything. He's gotten out a knife. He's trying to cut the letters. You can see there are more letters in than just the one that's being read out as well. And nothing is working.
God.
A little rumour happened to reach her ears about how it was you came by your dashing good looks, and perhaps that even the little old me might have had something to do with it. Well, she tried her best to ignore them, but maybe there was something lacking in her marriage that just drove her to come and ask me directly. Out of curiosity, Mertin, have you ever considered that if you'd been a better husband, she might not have done it? That if you were in any way a decent man, maybe she could have lived with the knowledge of what you are and what you pledged to me. Knowledge which, of course, I obligingly provided when she asked. I mean, it was her daughter too. She had a right to know. Why, if she really loved you, really and truly loved you, wouldn't she have worked with you to try and stop me? Found a way to cheat out of the contract? Or maybe she did. Maybe you didn't love her. Maybe she realized that you saw her, that you've always seen her, as nothing more than a prize, yet another trophy to be won.
By this point, tears are streaming down Merton's eyes.
Or maybe it was the realization that all of her feelings for you, up to and including the conception and birth of her only child, were the direct result of magic. Maybe she just couldn't live with the fact that your entire relationship, nay, both of your lives, were built on a foundation of lies and frankly the most distressing and downright evil form of magic, mind control. Which of those do you think it was, Merton? I'll give you extra points if you can guess correctly. And if you want to check the answers, you can read her suicide note. I've enclosed that with this letter too. Sorry about the watermarks. It took me a while to fish it out of the sea. Unless, of course, you've tried to destroy that piece of evidence as well. Whoopsie daisy! Merton has gotten a torch and is trying to just burn this thing.
Celestia's actually going to start stepping back.
Yeah,
into the
you
crowd
start
just
stepping
a
back.
little
You
bit
can
at this
see
point
looking
because
around.
She wants to melt back.
People are starting to gather up their belt knives. Some are just picking up some of the chairs from the tables nearby. Someone is
Where's the little
someone's
girl?
handing out torches, looking around. Make a perception check.
Can I? I want to know where she is.
Yeah.
Big hell.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's
actually
good.
really good.
That's a 19 from
Yep.
me.
No,
Yes, also 19.
Yep, she's vanished from the hallway. She is not in the hallway.
Shit!
Good news!
Can I try and get into the house and find her?
You need to push past Merton and the guards, but you can try.
Can I try? I'm really worried about
Make
her.
an acrobatics or athletics check, depending on whether you want to shove or weave past.
By the way, this head in hand thing that I'm doing in real life is happening
Yeah.
in character.
Grabbing.
Celestia.
17.
17.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
one of the guards tries to stop you. You just weave past. I'm going to read the next
Do we
bit.
see Scamp go
You
in?
see Scamp running. I'm going
Fuck.
to read the next bit, and then I'll tell you what's happening, Scamp. Still, good news! As mentioned previously, you are free and clear of the contract. You are no longer obliged to give up your only child to me for her tuition and protection. Of course, depending on where you were when this very convenient self-reading letter reached you, a lot of people might now have realized that she is in a very real sense the direct result of foul sorcery. But I'm sure she'll be fine. After all, the good citizens, wretched peons is that, I think is how you put it, of Paider's March are reasonable, thoughtful, and patient people, even-minded and even-handed, and certainly not the kind of people who would burn a small child to death at a stake just because her father is a manipulative cur and her entire existence was brought about by the designs of an evil, twisted, and very, very malicious and vindictive hag.
Okay, just
I'm
for a
sure
second,
they'll let her
wait.
grow up just fine. Definitely won't come back to bite them. Yep.
While this is going on, Celestia's going to start. So I assume I've seen which way Scamp has gone.
Yeah, Scamp has run
Celestia's
straight
going to
in.
go round the back of the crowd and go
Yeah,
whichever
yeah.
way she saw
I'm
Scamp
gonna
red,
say
like
make a stealth
around
check.
the side.
Make a
if that
stealth
makes
check
sense. I mean, oh,
because
God, I'm really
people
bad
have
at
kind of got their
stealth.
eyes on what's going on
Really
here.
bad at stealth.
The torches have come out. The pitchforks are coming out.
Really bad at
Okay,
stealth. That's
right.
an 11.
I'm
gonna
going to try and duck and weave through the legs of people
Yeah.
to try and get after where this goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
okay,
going to
so
try and
you're-
find
so you're both trying to
another
go around
entrance
the
on
back.
the way in. If
That's
that makes
fine.
sense.
Okay,
let's go.
so while this is, I'm going to say acrobatics check for you then, if you or stealth, either way. Stealth, yeah, stealth. You're going to go. I'm going to say they're distracted enough with an 11. Yes, you are able to sort of slink away.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find a window around the side
Yeah.
so that I can
Yeah,
find Scamp.
15. Okay, you were easily able to slip round. At this time, Scamp, while this speech has been going on, which is not yet done, you run in. You've been checking every door, and you find it in the kitchen. The door is being. You can see that the old man is blocking the door, but you push it open. And race past him, and you can see Clara is now just racing for the woods as quickly as racing for the tree line as quickly as she can, tears streaming from her eyes, just taking the opportunity to run. I'm going to say you guys come around and see this happening about the same time.
Okay, I'm going to
I'm following. I'm just
Yeah, you're all bolting after
legging
her.
it after
You
her.
hear behind you the words calling out, "By the way, if you would like to consider placing your daughter under my capable protection, or if you happen to be listening, Clara, and you would like to offer me my protection, I am more than willing to negotiate a new deal. You know where to find me. Yours, with absolute sincerity, Olga Gristlegums." And as you are chasing after this girl, you can hear the mob screaming and the sounds of shouting and violence.
The three of
May
you.
have overestimated the villagers here.
Yep, the three of you are racing after this girl. She's got a bit of a lead on you already, with the servant having tried to block your way. And you can see just as she reaches the tree line, there is a large bird there, larger than the ones you've seen before. And you realise with the bat-like wings, this is a huge cockatrice. But instead of attacking her as it comes, it turns and presents its back to her. And you can see that someone has stitched a saddle onto this thing. In a moment of panic, she runs, she leaps on it, she gets one last look back, and you see her face is red, it is streaked with tears. And the cockatrice just takes flight and begins to fly over the trees directly towards Olga's hut.
Okay, hunter's mark on the cottage.
Okay. Your focus narrows in. Yeah, this thing, you now know exactly the direction of this cockatrice. You can follow it.
Going to try and shoot it out the air.
Okay.
Oh god, it's got a child on it.
Yeah.
How far away from the child am I?
I'm going to say the cockatrice is taken into the air, so you guys are about 60 feet away probably. And it's kind of gaining on you as it's doing nothing but double dashing.
Okay, that will be a... 15 to hit.
Yep, it hits. Roll damage.
Okay. That's a 13 damage.
Okay. It strikes dead on. But it's still able to retain its flight. Hang
on, I've got my extra 100 damage.
Keep going.
A further 3 damage.
Okay, not enough to kill it, but it begins to dip suddenly, and you notice it's as much part of the damage as trying to fly low and trying to use some of the tree cover to get out of line of sight of your shots. And you hear, as the creature screams, Clara's screams are mixed in with it.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to try and take a shot or anything?
I don't want to hurt her.
Maintaining it.
I step in front of Corzin and go, hasn't she got more chance with the witch than she has if we leave her on her own in the woods?
I'm just going to keep running after her.
We caused this. We've got to make her understand why we did what we did.
Okay.
She doesn't know anything about us, and I'm really concerned. Either she will die in the woods or the villagers will find her. At least this way she's got a clear passage to protection. I know the witch sucks, but...
We have a boat. We can take her with us. And I'm just going to keep running.
True.
Okay.
I'm going to run after Scamp.
Okay, you're running after Scamp. Corzin, I'm going to give you the chance to take the lead on this, because right now, otherwise one of them is going to have to make the survival check to not get lost in the swamp, because this is... The cockatrice can move faster than any of you can run, so it's a question of trying to catch up to it over time. This is a prolonged expedition for you.
I have advantage, I believe, on perception checks to find it.
Yes, and I'm going to extend this to your survival check advantage for the sake of this. Right, you're essentially tracking it over a long period.
So it's survival with advantage?
Yes.
Right.
Fucking hell. Sorry, it's really awful being able to see what you can roll.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 10 then.
You move as quickly as you can, but it seems that the path just happens to be, it's just filled with lightning sand. There are alligators at every turn. You duck, you weave, you dodge. All three of you are running full pelt. In fact, because of this, I need a constitution save from each of you to keep up a running pace for what might be an hour.
Natural 1.
Fucking hell.
23.
That's an 8 from me.
8 was that from you?
Yeah, 8 from me.
Yeah. Okay, no. Scamp, you can keep up this pace for ages, but the other two, they are flagging. Corzin's legs are shorter than everyone else's.
Yeah.
So he's got filth fever.
Also the filth fever. Yeah. Yeah, he's sweating, he's coughing and hacking. And eventually, you knowing that you are going to get lost without Corzin guiding you, as the more experienced tracker, you are forced to make it at the sort of half-jog pace of the others. Still, though, you make the journey in 90 minutes.
Can we see the cockatrice still?
No, you lose sight of it. Only Corzin's tunnel vision, supernatural perception of where it is, lets him keep track on where
The
that.
Hunter's Mark doesn't last for 90 minutes, I don't think.
Lasts for
It's an hour.
An hour.
Oh,
Okay.
an hour. Oh,
It lasts for an hour. You get most of the way, and by this point, you are damn sure. Like by that point, by the time you've run for an hour, you know where it's going.
Yeah.
You know exactly where it's going.
On the way, I say, seriously, do you want to leave a little girl in the hands of someone who can do that? And I just sort of gesture broadly over my shoulder, indicating the whole situation with the mare.
You're right. No. I panicked because of the screaming bomb.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Understandable.
I thought if we shot down the bird, we were dooming her to that.
Understandable. But, nevertheless...
Scamp's quite right, we do have a boat.
Yeah. The only thing he was really guilty of was being bloody stupid.
Oh no, he's an arsehole. He's a complete arsehole. We should not leave the child with him.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he mind controlled a woman and had a child with her. The implications of that are literally terrifying.
Yeah.
But I know what it's like to be a kid on your own, and we can't leave her to that.
Let's go and get her then.
Okay.
There's another option. We take her to the Half-Orc.
Oh, that guy's an arsehole
To
too.
that dickhead. I mean, he's
That
completely
vindictive
insane.
shit.
I understand his point of view, but I don't see why he would look after her. He's Merton's child. He hates Merton. She's half Merton. Although I suppose they could bond over being fucked up by Merton together. But I mean, I think the best option if we're going to go and get her is to take her and put her on the ship if your crew would have any...
Well, we can
willingness to
always
do
ask,
that.
I suppose, but...
Although we'd have to hide her in the meantime, because we can hardly take her through town to get to the ship.
One problem
Wear
at
my
a time.
cloak.
True? I mean, if
One
you're
problem at
happy
a time.
to have stones thrown at you, people don't throw stones at you and you always need. But, you know.
I don't mind. I mean, there might be a mob. I don't know if I'm... Yeah, I'm going to avoid a mob looking like me, but...
At least the mob's not looking for you.
By this point, you've, kind of catching your breath, you made it to the clearing where you can just see the tree, grasping claw tree in the distance, and you can see that there is a light on. There are lights on inside, through the little round windows. You can just make through the gaps because they're wooden shutter type windows. The round door is partly ajar, and you can see the giant cockatrice is now resting in the branches of the tree. It doesn't seem to take offence at your appearance, but is rather licking the wound that you've given it.
Is she there?
She might be. You can't see into the thing. You can hear the sounds of clattering from inside the hut.
She's definitely there.
Let's go in.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no point waiting.
The three of you rush forward and you tear open the door, and you can see the shelves have been swept clean, almost entirely clean, and carrying. And you can see two figures now. There's still a few items left in the chamber. The huge rug is there. The throne, the copper kettle still boiling with water, the fire roaring beneath you. Anything too big to move is still there, and standing by the pool of stagnant water there is the elderly, wretched woman you saw before, and Clara Off, draped in a shawl that seems to be made out of some sort of almost like the skin of a huge fish, and carrying a huge backpack. Just laden down with all of Olga's various bric-a-brac that she had in her shelves. And you can see, clutched in one hand, she has a small vial. I'm going to say perception check to see what's in that vial.
Alright.
Oh, a natural one from Celestia.
Okay.
11 from Corzin.
No, it's hard to tell. Some sort of slightly murky liquid. And standing next to her, Olga gives you a bright grin full of yellow teeth. Well,
Well, I'm happy to see that my letter was delivered. I'm afraid that I've just accepted a new pact, and me and my lovely new daughter apprentice here will be on our way. Unless you're planning to stop me.
You planned this
Made
from
a
the
pact.
start.
Already.
Clara kind of mutely just sort of nods, looking terrified, but you can see that Olga's grip is tight on her shoulder.
What are you planning to do with her?
As I said, raise a daughter and an apprentice. Walk away. Turn around. You cannot talk me out of this one.
And she's just staring at the three of you.
Can I do an insight check on Clara to see if she is more scared or resolute? In this
Yeah, make an insight check.
Because I smell coercion. That's going to be a 16.
Clara is terrified, but there's flavours of fear. And she seems to be both... She is terrified of the old crone, but she's also seems to feel protection from her, as if she's aligned herself with a horrifying evil force for her own safety. But then again, this is a decision made by a 7-year-old child.
Okay.
I'm going to look at Clara and talk to her. Clara, did you already make a deal?
She nods mutely.
What kind of
Did
deal
you
was
sign
it?
anything?
Olga Olga taps her robe for a moment, as if to indicate a concealed contract of some sort. She is gripping. She's gripping Ava's shoulder. Sorry, not Ava. Clara's shoulder.
Well, I'm afraid we don't really have time for chit-chat, so we must be on our way.
Clara, do you want to go with her? You could be safe with us. You could stay with us. You don't have
We've
to
got a
go.
boat,
Clara
we can take
kind
you
of-
away.
And we're not about to use you.
You're the ones who did this, she says, and she pulls the cork out of the vial and knocks back a bluish-green murky potion, which you recognise being the twin of the one that you have, Corzin. And she dives with the backpack full of stuff into the murky pool behind her.
Oh, shit.
The witch smiles.
Walk away. It's the smartest decision you can make.
I'm not very intelligent. I'm going to just start a fireball in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fireballs.
as you do, if you're starting that, then roll initiative.
I'm just going to hold it there.
Doesn't matter. Roll initiative.
Oh.
She's a paranoid old woman.
We have to run. We can't defeat
Yeah.
her.
So, okay, so I'm going to roll Olga first.
Is everyone rolling initiative?
Oh, yes, everyone needs to roll initiative.
Alright, that's an 8 from Celestia.
TPK.
14.
Okay, that's going to be an unnatural 20 for Corzin.
Ooh. Okay, and one more. Okay. Okay, so, Corzin, you are top of the round. You can see that the witch is inexplicably, just in this split second before you can act, as you see Scamp start to produce the firebolt in their hand, the witch seems to be reaching for her own face for some reason.
Oh, God.
Alright. I'm going to unload the musket into her again. Or rather my carbine.
Okay,
And cast Hunter's Mark.
alright, go for it. Make an attack roll.
That's going to be an 11.
It's short range. You pull the musket, but just it seems your carbine. But the sudden panic decision, it snaps shots off, and it cracks into one of the empty shelves harmlessly. But you still focus your spell And you feel... How many spell slots do you have, by the way?
That's the second one. My second and final one.
You don't. You used it earlier in the day in the cockatrice, and you have not had a long rest.
Actually, no, you're right. Okay,
Right, so no, you can't dismount that. I'm sorry. You used it up in the cockatrice above.
You just shoot her instead.
Yeah, so yeah, you
I
just shoot
failed
her.
to shoot her.
Yeah,
And
shoot
no,
at her, we should say.
yeah, it smacks into the wall. Scamp.
Well, I've got the firebolt prepared. I think I've
Yep.
got to do that, really. That's not really an option.
Yeah.
Fighting this person.
I know, but we can't let her leave. So, firebolt. Fuck, that's a 10 to hit. That's terrible.
Again, she steps suddenly to the side, moving a lot faster than this old woman should seem to be able to. And the bolt smacks into the wall. The wall is wood, however, and immediately begins to burn. Catches fire. It's not spreading. It's not spreading frantically, but you can tell that if you left this unattended for say a minute or so, it might start to spread.
I mean,
How
we're supposed
far
to
away
burn
from
her
the
in her
pool of
house,
water
weren't we?
is
So, fuck
She
it.
is right next to the pool of water. She is standing in front of it between you and it, from your perspective. You are.
Right. I kind of want to get closer to her because I don't want her to leave. But that's a terrible idea because I'm terrible in melee. No, I'm going to move up against her. It's not sensible, but that's what I'm doing.
You move up against her, hoping that you can try and stop her from escaping.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to convert sorcery points into a spell slot.
Okay. As you do so, she's reaching up with one hand, with the other, she snaps her fingers and says, she says, "Smother!" And as you are running towards her, I'm going to say you get to her as this happens. The huge alligator skin suddenly sweeps up and attempts to encircle you. That's a 24 to hit Scamp.
Oh yeah, that's going to hit.
Okay, the alligator skin wraps itself around you, smothering you. You are grappled, you are restrained, blinded, suffocating until this can be taken off. It is just slowly increasing pressure around you. That makes it Celestia's go.
Fuck do I want to do at this point? This is chaos. Okay, how much of an action would it be for me to go and try and help Scamp, try and get the rug off her?
You could try and make an athletics check to pull it off her.
Okay, is that an action or a bonus
That'd be an
action?
action, definitely.
That'd be an action. Okay, what do I do in this situation? Fuck it, I'm going for Scamp. I'm going to try and get the rug off Scamp.
Okay, make an athletics check, please.
Fuck's sake. Kill me, that's terrible. That's a 7. And I give the rug a bit of a hug.
You try and struggle and pull this thing off, but it's crushing her with all the might it had when it was alive. Do you want to use a bonus action at all?
I don't think I have anything. Literally. I mean, not all cantrips are bonus actions,
Sure.
are they? That's the thing.
Just a thought.
I think all of mine are actually actions, as far as I remember. Yep.
Okay.
they're all fucking actions, mate. Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, okay, in which case that makes it Olga's go. Scamp, you're the only person who does not see this. As the pair of you watch, you're still busy reloading your carbine.
Yeah.
Celestia, you see as you're struggling with this alligator rug. Olga reaches up to her face and pulls off her skin. And all of her wrinkled, old, pale skin pulls away and seems to sort of dissipate as she does so. And you see this horrible figure. How's the best way to describe this? What you can see beneath the robes, beneath the skin, is a sort of gnarled, ancient-looking crone. Her skin is blue and pallid and swollen in places. There is something of the drowned to her. Her eyes bulge. She has thin scales. She is dripping with mucus, and she is... I said before that she was ugly. She is hideous. She is hideous to the point of blind, mind-numbing terror. Celestia and Corzin, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I'm not wise. Okay, that's a 15 from Celestia.
Okay.
That's a 15 from... Oh, no, sorry, a 14 from Corzin.
Okay, you both feel almost this sort of your gorge rising in your throats, but you shake off the fear. Neither of you are frightened by her.
Sucked.
Okay. That said, if that's the one she has, she is going to. She doesn't need to disengage. Scamp has been neutralized by the carpet, so instead she pulls from behind her back a hand with 5 fingers. With wicks in and a match, and she strikes the match and lights one.
Oh shit.
Okay, so this is 5d8. Okay. So
God, I'm gonna die.
7, 14,
Yeah, we could literally all die.
25. Okay, can I ask for your hit points, please? Starting with Corzin.
21.
Scamp
16.
and Celestia.
11.
So that was... Okay. Huh. Scamp, you're lucky that you don't have 1 less hit point.
Also, if that hand is to do with sleep, I am immune to sleep stuff.
Oh, in which case it skips you
Because
and
elf.
goes on to Scamp.
Oh, good.
Oh, bollocks.
Scamp,
Sorry.
you immediately pass out as some strange soporific haze fills the air. She breaks off the thumb, tosses it into the corner, and dives with her movement action into the water.
Am I unconscious, 0 hit points, or unconscious asleep?
Just unconscious asleep. So you'll probably wake up at the start. There's a good chance you will wake up
Oh
at
yeah,
the start
no!
of your turn.
Being crushed will do that.
From being crushed. So you're actually the best person to have been affected by the sleep
Yeah,
effect.
sorry, I forgot that I was an elf. For a
No,
second.
that's fine.
I was
That's
busy
fine.
panicking about the general.
Yeah, no,
everything.
well remembered.
Okay,
Speaking of which, that puts the top of the round. Corzin, you've just watched Olga dive into the water.
Okay, am I able to catch her before she does this? Or?
To catch her before she does this, no. I'm going to say that she's dived into the water. You could get maybe one... Standing at the edge, because your firearms will not work in water,
No.
you could get maybe 1 shot after her into the water. And I think it would be... Yeah, because she's not quite fully your minimum range away.
I mean, it's going to wound her. It's not going to stop her, of course. It's not going to prevent her from getting away. With my movement, could I get after her to the point where if I were to dive into the water, I would be within melee range?
I'd need a swim check from you because she has a swim speed and you don't.
Right. Okay.
And actually, no. Even with your movement, you wouldn't because she had at least 15 feet on you when she started the move. So you're not and take an action. No, you could try and double move and chase after her, but again, that'd be an athletics check to swim after her because she has a swim speed.
Alright, so I'm just going to unload from inside. Okay, I'll get as close to the edge of the water as I possibly can,
Go.
and I'll fire a shot after it.
Fire one last shot to do.
That's going to be a 14.
just hits. Roll damage.
That's going to be 14 points of damage.
Okay, as you hit her, you can just see a few bubbles curl up, and a brief cloud of thick, inky black blood follows after her for a moment before fading.
Gross.
You manage to score a parting shot on her, but alas, that's all it is. And you can see, as the water begins to get too murky to see after her, there is a hidden tunnel filled with water leading somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean,
Which always has an escape route.
Yeah, I mean, I could down the potion of water breathing, but really,
Realistically, like,
we've got to get Scamp out of that.
yeah.
Speaking of which, unless you have a bonus action you'd like to take, Corzin, then it is the start of Scamp's turn. Scamp, you are woken up at the start of your turn by your ribs being crushed. So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Fuck!
Oh.
Yeah, as you wake up. But hey, at least the sleep didn't persist. Okay, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you still have all your actions and so
That's
on.
nearly
Bearing in
right,
mind, you
right.
are currently restrained, which according to my handy reminder means that your speed is 0, you have disadvantage on your own attacks, and dex saves, and advantage to any creature attacking you.
Shit.
Also blind.
So disadvantage to hit anything with it.
Yeah.
Even a touch attack.
You could use an action for athletics or acrobatics to try and escape, though, and wriggle your way out.
I'm going to do that.
Okay, athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Oh, acrobatics. I have a -1 to athletics, so... Oh, 13.
That is exactly enough.
Oh.
Struggling like a land-born fish after you're woken up suddenly by the cracking of your ribs. You use the almost peristaltic motion of the rug to sort of slide your way out and plop to the ground outside it. You are no longer restrained, blind, or suffocating. And so you still have your bonus actions or movement.
But I'm in melee with this thing, aren't I?
That's true, yes. You are currently...
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay,
I'm going to stand up
Okay.
so that I'm not prone, but beyond that, that's everything I can do.
Okay. Which makes it the rug's turn. The rug makes its one attack
It'd be horribly embarrassing if we
and gets an 8. It swipes at you with its just itself, but this time you're prepared for it and you scrabble quickly back out of the way. That is all the rug can do. Celestia.
Scamp, how bad are you? This isn't...
2.
Okay,
I mean, you can't tell that, but I'm looking pretty crushed.
You're looking bad, is the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do 2 things. I am going to do a healing word on Scamp, and Celestia's panicking at this point. It's not going to be as stylish as usual. She's going to reach over her shoulder, do a little twang on the guitar string, and just go, "Feel better!" And that's your healing word. I will tell you how much you heal. Give me a minute. Okay, so you get 7 points.
Oh my fuck.
So slightly less horrifying. And also, God, I'm going to shoot the rug. I'm just going to shoot it.
Okay.
Good job you went touch they were at, was that?
You are
yeah.
currently actually next to the rug.
Oh, how am I too close for shooting?
Yeah, because you take disadvantage because you were next to the rug trying to get Scamp out.
Okay, cool. I'm
Slicey.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the slicey.
Okay, make your rapier attack.
I'm gonna use my rapier. So give it a stabbing. Okay, so that's a 19.
That hits.
Nice.
Woo!
Roll
Alright,
damage.
where's my D8 gone? There it is. Oh shit. Okay, that's a 4.
Okay,
4 points.
you
Not
cut a
great.
hole in that rug. It doesn't seem terribly affected. Like, maybe enough of those would probably do it in, but you essentially left a large slash on a rug. Okay, that makes it top of the round, as Olga is busy swimming. Corzin's go.
Okay. I am going to turn around from the edge of the water, shoulder the carbine, take out my rapiers, and attempt to widen the hole that Celestia has just made.
Okay, you proceed to savage the rug. Attacks.
That's not going to hit. And that is going to be that'll be a 25.
That definitely hits.
For 9 slashing damage.
Oh, you significantly widen that hole. It's now stretching a fair way along the rug.
This thing is kind of like made out of crocodile skin.
Yeah, alligator skin.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That makes it Scamp's go.
Kill it with
Right.
fire.
Please.
I'm right up against it, so I'm going to kill it with electricity.
That
Okay.
also works.
So I'm going to attempt a shocking grasp.
Okay, shocking grasp away.
Where's my new one gone? I've got a new dice somewhere. I want to use it.
You definitely needed new dice. It's a good thing you bought more. I was getting worried you didn't have enough.
I have 17 d20s.
Oh my god!
You need more.
I thought my 4 was excessive.
So that probably doesn't hit. That's a 10. I couldn't find the new one. Where is it?
No. Although it is just a rug, it is moving. It is flailing around, trying to envelop people. You mostly thus far.
Trying to cast smother people.
Do you want to try? Do you have any bonus actions, or do you want to risk moving away from it?
No. That's why I was going to shocking grasp so I could get away. But no.
Okay. The rug.
There's the new one.
Kind of seems to change priorities based on who's caused it the most problems, and is going to try and envelop Corzin instead, as you've currently created the greatest hole, which is that's another 24 to hit.
Okay, that'll hit.
Two natural 19s in a row from it. So you are enveloped in its. I don't know what the Latin name for a crocodile is, but it's crocodilian grasp.
Oh no.
That makes it Celestia's go.
Okay, so it's got Corzin, it's fully got
Yeah.
him. Okay, I'm just gonna try and is he inside it? How is this working?
Do I take any damage?
Yeah, he is basically inside it. He's kind of wrapped in it.
Okay, but it's not started crushing him yet.
No, but it you can see it's starting the process of crushing.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try and just slice down the side of it, to release him.
Okay, you're kind of trying to make an attack with the goal of
If he's in the mouth, isn't he? It's shut. So I'm gonna try and slice down one side of the mouth just to open the rug up and get him out of it. Well, you can veto that if that's
I'm going to call
ridiculous.
that an athletics check because you're basically trying to open up an existing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do damage to it, if that makes any sense. So. That's a 12. That's not going to be enough.
You slice down with the rapier, but it just cracks against the teeth, which is still intact.
Yeah. I'm also going to, again, just my guitar on my back, I'm just going to do one note because Celestia's panicking, just bang, and she's going to go, Corzin, everything's going to be fine, and she's going to give Corzin inspiration.
Thank you.
That's somehow inspiring.
It's the inspiration of desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, speaking of which, Corzin, it is the start of your turn, so you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Ouch.
Yep, from sudden crushing. That is the maximum damage it can deliver. It is also, the rest of your go.
Alright. I can't attack it from the inside, can I?
You can, you just have disadvantage.
Would the inspiration just cancel that out to a regular roll?
No, but it allows you to add the inspiration to the attack roll if you wish.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you get a d6 on whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to attempt to widen the hole I just made so that I can get out.
Okay, that would be an athletics check then.
Right. I mean, if I can do it by also causing it damage, that would be great.
I'll let you use your bonus action to try and make it like a single sword attack success towards your
And
special
is that
as
a
well.
disadvantage or?
No. Well, it depends. If you make it out, it's without disadvantage.
Right,
If you
fine.
don't, then it is.
Fine, okay. That's going to be a 9 on the athletics. So, no, I'm going to try and hit it with disadvantage.
Just fuck it.
That's
It's a 9.
7,
Really bad.
to hit it, that would be a 12?
It is a rug. You are able to hit it.
Okay. From inside,
From
I'm
inside,
kind of
especially, yeah.
Oh, and that's 10 points of slashing damage.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. You tear that hole wider and wider. It's almost completely. The hole is almost bisecting it now, but it's kind of trying to wrap harder with what it can to counteract that, and you're not able to escape.
Okay.
Okay, that makes it Scamp's go.
Oh, I really don't want to hurt Corzin, so I'm going to try and pull him out through the hole.
Okay,
sort
make
of
an
grab
athletics
him.
check.
Oh, this is such a bad idea. Oh, that's an 18!
Okay,
Nice!
I rolled a 19!
Furious tiefling anger, you pull this tiny halfling out of this rapidly
I'm using my
crushing
tail
rug.
as well. That's what
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah.
Causing flailing kind of Scrappy-Doo style at it. Like,
Okay.
Celestia's just amazed that the child has managed this.
The child is amazed that my child has managed this.
Do you do anything else?
I don't think I can do anything else.
Okay. In which case then, that would make it the rug's go. The rug is attempting to reclaim its prize, which it does with a 21.
oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Sake.
Corzin, you are enveloped once again in the rug's clutches. Okay, so that makes it Celestia's go.
Celestia's just going to try and pull him out at this point.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah, just athletics check.
I'm out!
Fucking hokey cokey in here, right. That was a bad joke.
Yes, but it would be perfect for her to play that right now.
Yes. Okay, so that is a 13.
Okay, you pull him back out again. In and out, turn Corzin all around. Okay, that makes it Corzin's go. You've been successfully saved from being probably crushed at least into unconsciousness by the rug.
Right, I'm going to double attack it then.
Yes.
That's going to be a 13 again.
Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
Yes.
Oh,
Get
right.
it?
That's a 9.
Okay, and with your other sword?
And that's going to be an 18.
And roll damage.
A 10.
Okay, taking the swords, you just shove them in either side of the already huge rip and slice outwards. You end up tearing this rug in half, and although the two halves flail for a moment, this seems to be enough to undo whatever sort of foul magic is animating it. The two halves flop for a moment and then collapse to the ground.
Corzin is going to take a moment, breathing heavily, and then is just going to vomit on the floor.
And that, I think, is where we will call our break.
Celestia's going to kick the rug. Just give it like a really pathetic little kick.
All right. We will
Is the
see.
wall still on fire?
The wall is still on fire, but can be easily put out if you so wish. All right. I'm going to call it a break there then, and we'll see. Well, you'll hear us after the break.
Well, gather round, and I shall tell you the tale of the time that I struck gold. I was prospecting in them there hills, and my pickaxe came down a rock, and you know what gushed forth? Thousands and thousands of subscriptions to Flintlocks and Fireballs. Maybe you could add one more.
And welcome back. The party finds themselves catching their breath in the... Well, I guess it's up to you guys. I have to ask, did you leave the treehouse burning to the ground? Or did you decide to put the fire out and take a rest there?
Before we put the fire out, the fire is crackling.
Yeah, merrily. If left untended, it will eventually spread.
Right. Is there anything of value or that might give an indication as to where the hack has gone?
Can we give
Make
it a
an
loot?
investigation check.
Investigation. Okay.
May I do one as well, or would that count as assisted?
You could. I suppose you could give him advantage. By
It's a
Can I
17.
assist him? Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, that's a 17.
Okay.
You do get advantage because I'm assisting
Right.
you, so give me another roll.
That's a
No,
17.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, looking through, taking a bit of time to quickly search the area. Olga has taken almost everything of value.
Yeah.
There are a couple of small jars of herbs, but they seem to be fairly common for the most part.
Right.
The most valuable thing left is the two halves of the former rug of smothering. While its magic is no longer gone, it could be stitched back together into a very presentable alligator rug, which might actually be worth a few bob. I'm going to say with that check, you'd say, yeah, you might be able to sell that for, who knows, 50 gold to a collector.
Fair enough. We're going to get something out
We have
of
to
it.
carry it.
I'm not touching it. Not going near that fucking thing ever again.
Right. Well, it was dead to begin with, but never mind. And he starts
You
dragging
laboriously
it out.
roll it up, tie it with some cord into and sort of affix it to your so that you can carry it on your back.
Ugh.
It's actually two separate rolls because you've got to take at some point someone's going to have to stitch this thing back together.
I'm not touching it.
I just roll one inside
I'm going
the
to put
other.
the fire out.
Yeah. Okay. You put the
'Cause
fire out.
I'm going to stop the house burning down. 'Cause that's not difficult
Actually,
to do.
if you let it burn down, people
Yeah, why
might
bother?
Yeah.
actually
Because we
think
might
that
want to use this.
You will actually no. There is one other thing. The cauldron, which has now the fire. You can easily bank the fire in it. The cauldron itself isn't actually particularly valuable, unless it's a lot of copper. If you really wanted to lug it back to town and sell it, but it's not very portable wealth. Disappointingly, it seems to just be full of boiling water. As the DM, I realised I completely forgot. The alternative to using the Hand of Glory was that she was just going to push boiling water on you all.
Oh my god, that would have
If the fight had
sucked.
stretched on any longer, that was her next move.
Ugh.
Well, kind of glad you didn't do that.
Yeah, that would have been horrible.
Steamed halfling.
Roasted drow.
So you have the opportunity. Looking outside and checking around, apart from the herb garden, which, as far as you like, I guess make a nature or medicine check if you're causing.
Okay.
If you're causing.
If you're causing, you can make a medicine check because you're the only one trained in medicine.
Oh, that'll
that's
be
good.
25.
Okay, there were a few odds and ends left around, and actually, although none of the remaining herbs are magical, as far as you can tell. Many of them are still very useful if properly prepared as ointments and actually have medicinal uses. And I'm going to say that with a combination of the bric-a-brac left over and several of the more useful herbs that you can harvest, you are able to put together a fully functioning healer's kit.
Nice.
Yes,
Alright.
which has 10 doses worth of materials in it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can use this either to stabilise people in combat with an action, or, as discussed, during a short rest. Because you are trained in medicine, you can expend one charge per person who is already using a hit die, similar to the Song of Rest, to restore an additional d6 hit points. The two do stack.
Excellent.
Also, the cockatrice in the branches, gone.
Figured.
Flown its way.
Otherwise, we were going to have another fight on our hands,
Oh,
and I don't think
God.
any of us want that right now.
No, not a lot of us are in good shape, let's be honest.
I think I'd feel a lot better about this if we got back to the ship and, in short order, at least got into the double figures once more.
That would be really good.
Let's have a rest.
Okay. Do you guys want to take a long rest? You could probably sleep here till the morning. It is at least you can at least pull the door shut. And...
If we sleep here until the morning, we're doing watches.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it's a defensible location, if nothing else.
Yeah. I would say, actually,
Yeah.
how big is the body of water inside?
It's not that big. It's like about 4 to 5 feet across, like in a rough circle.
Alright. Can I take the copper kettle and place it over the top of
You
this?
can. You need to let you wait an hour for it to cool down.
Yeah.
And then actually probably easiest to just empty it out of water first.
You know,
and then
I'll empty the water out into the...
you'll empty the water out into this
it's
hole.
just to block the view.
Yeah, and then you just
Yeah.
takes a bit of
At least it'll
wedging.
make
Though it
noise
does
if
give me a very
someone
good
comes
idea.
through.
Alright, as Corzin's dragging the kettle over,
Yeah.
he places it down, sort of upside down on the top of the water, and then, as he's doing it, he goes, "Wait a minute," and he picks it up again, and he puts it down on top of the water again, and it just sort of bobs there for a moment, and he goes, "Right."
What are you doing? Says Celestia impatiently.
He turns to you and says, "You know what a diving bell is?"
Literally, do I? Like, in all
No,
seriousness?
you would never have heard of one.
I don't know, a bell that sinks, what?
Look at it. You put it down on top of the water, there's a big air bubble inside.
Yes.
You drag it with you under the water, and the air bubble stays there so you can breathe.
You can't see anything because you've got a cauldron on your head, though.
You can swim out from it and then swim back to it. And then you can move it a bit.
This plan feels like it has a lot of holes in it.
Unlike the
Not
kettle.
many of them full of air.
Well, look, I'm not suggesting we do this now, but it is perhaps a way we could get through there, or at least explore where that thing goes.
Should be gone by now. It's already
yeah, of
been
course.
an hour.
Yeah, she'll be gone, but we'll at least have some idea of where it is she went.
Just suppose we could have a go, but you've got filth fever. We've got to. We need to do.
You make an excellent point. I wasn't actually going to suggest that I did it.
Are you asking me to do it? What
Well,
makes you
if
think
you're-
I'm good at this?
Well, if you're volunteering, then that's great. Otherwise, I was going to ask Scamp.
I'll do it. I'm really good at holding my breath as well.
Brilliant.
Look, and then I just hold my breath for as long as possible.
What's your constitution score?
Modifier or straight?
Modifier.
Modifier's 3.
You can hold your breath for 3 minutes.
Do we just stand there while she holds her breath?
Yep.
Eventually, they start to get a bit red-faced and.
That's pretty good, that is.
That was actually quite a long time.
I'm
Right.
going to sleep now.
Okay. Celestia's.
It's really late and I am a child.
It is now midnight, basically. Yeah, actually past
Corzin,
midnight.
go to sleep. I will take the first
Oh.
watch.
Which means that, in fact, that means that it being past midnight, it is the 14th of Falling Leaves, Clara Off's 7th birthday. Okay. You're taking first watch.
Yes.
Who's taking second?
I can take second.
And Corzin, do you want to take third?
Yep.
Okay. As you find yourselves getting what rest you can, Your watches, such as they are, pass without incident. Your dreams less so. Scamp, you find yourself tormented for a time before Celestia wakes you by visions of hawks and the face of the one crew member that you were unable to save.
Oh God,
Carrying
still,
you
that's
off.
horrific.
Always, I think.
Oh.
You're woken by Celestia, who takes her own unsettled sleep. Celestia, you find with the events of the night weighing on you, you find yourself dreaming about just over and over about a blade slashing towards your face and then nothingness. Corzin. Dreams come and they go, and there is a kind of desperate struggle to them. And you find the only part you can clearly remember is a struggle where, and you don't know how much of this is the fever, is you recall the moment when you found when you were looking for Stringer Smith the second time when he hadn't appeared, when he jumped on you from behind in the deck of the ship and tried to strangle you. But in this version of the dream, he manages to get on the jump on you. The rope is around your neck, and you're struggling and desperately trying to breathe. Can I ask you to make a perception check, please?
Yes. Would it be with disadvantage because I'm unconscious?
No.
Uh-huh. That's a 10.
It's only for a moment as you're busy struggling against the inhuman strength of Stringer's grip. But you swear, just peering out from behind some barrels, there is a figure watching this whole affair with just a dispassionate look. You can't catch any sight of their features, just like a silhouette before the dream takes you again. Just as you begin in the dream to gasp out your last breaths, you feel your body begin to convulse and shake, and then you blearily blink your eyes open as Scamp is shaking you awake for last watch. Okay, you take the watch. Passes without incident, although, as it has been a long rest, I'd like you to make a constitution save.
Alright.
Oh God, of course. Oh fuck.
Natural 1.
So it's horrible being able to see what you can roll today. It's actually making it
you
weird.
Find yourself feeling weak. The fever has not broken. You are shivering. You feel the strength starting to sapped from your bones. One moment. Okay. That would be okay. Until you receive magical healing. Until you receive magical curing, your hit point maximum is decreased by 2.
Okay.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Still quite bad though. Like,
Additionally, now that the disease has set
Oh
in,
dear.
you are at full hit points from that last night's sleep.
I was going to say, do I get to...
you get your full hit points back. After this point, until the disease is cured, you cannot regain hit points except by magical means.
oh God, that's really bad. Magical means
Includes
meaning like
Song
your
of
healing
Rest,
word
but
and all that.
you wouldn't get the hit points back from spending a hit die, but you would get the Song of Rest.
Okay, so you
Right, okay.
yeah.
Well,
I was going to
together.
ask about that.
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh, so Song of Rest counts as magical. Okay, that's
Yeah,
that's
for the
useful.
purposes of this.
Because Bard.
Because Bard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you wake, and the others, when you wake them up, you can see that Corzin is just sort of pale-faced and shivering. But there is a glim light of morning coming through the windows and shutters of the treehouse.
You look bad.
And you look snooty. What's the point?
Wow.
Well, somebody's grumpy when they're ill. My point was, actually, that we should hurry up and save you. Bugger the diving helmet. The little girl is... God knows where. We know where the cure for you is.
Should we at least see where the tunnel goes?
If you can, I think it's...
Right, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, make it quick, though.
Scamp, I'm going to require... Oh, this is... I'm going to require an athletics check for you from you first, because this is a... it's not so much that you're trying to drag down the copper kettle.
Oh no, I'm just going to swim. I'm not going to bother with the kettle.
You're not going to bother with the kettle?
I can hold my breath. I'm just going to try and swim and see how far it goes. And then come back when
In which case, I'd like an athletics check for your swim speed, please.
Oh dear. Oh, 15! That's not bad.
Okay, you swim down, making it just focusing on holding your breath, going as fast as you can. About 45 seconds in, you can see that the tunnel goes down for a while, and then it begins to go horizontal, snaking in places. It seems like a mix. Looking around from what little you can make out. Fortunately, you have dark vision. The thing about dark vision is, dark vision shows you shape. It shows you the barrier between solid and liquid, and solid and air. It allows you to see, if you were in a pitch black cave, it would allow you to see creatures, where the surfaces are, where the walls are, where the floor is, flowing water and similar, which is what it evolved to be able to do. But it does not show colour, and it does not show fine detail. You cannot read through dark vision. You cannot necessarily recognise someone's facial features through dark vision. And it is further occluded by the murkiness of the water. But what you can do is you can tell the shape of this tunnel. And here and there, it seems to intersect with natural rock formations, or perhaps like a small natural cave system. But in others, it has clearly been the work of what must be weeks, months, or maybe years of careful chipping away of rock to create this tunnel. There is a narrow part. I'm going to ask you for an acrobatics check to try and, if you want to slide through it, where the tunnel twists.
11.
Up. Do not get stuck.
You just about manage to make your way through, and the tunnel twists and weaves, and you get to about 90 seconds in, about halfway through your breath, and peering, it just seems the tunnel begins to go straight again. And it just goes on for as far as your dark vision can make out, easily another 60 feet. It looks, if you had to guess, this thing might go as far as the coast. It's certainly not made to be traversed by someone who can't breathe water.
I guess I'm going back.
Okay, give me another acrobatics check, because of the narrow bit.
Oh, that's alright, that's a 21.
Okay, you easily slide back it, and the pair of you have been waiting up the top, sort of like fingers crossed, foot tapping, looking a bit uncertainly at each other, and just before around about the 3-minute mark, Scamp re-emerges.
It goes on for ages, and there's a really narrow bit. You're not going to get your diving what's-it through.
Well, at least now we know why she had to drink the potion of water breathing.
Also, she's 6. She wasn't going far without it.
No.
I guess she's 7 now.
Yep.
Right.
7 today,
Her
wasn't it?
birthday.
Oh, God.
Do you think our apothecary friend can make more of that potion of water breathing?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh God!
Anyone who would like to.
No, I don't know. 13. I don't know.
9.
Yeah, with the 13, from the description she gave you about how alchemy works, she could do it if she had pieces of a creature or plant that would grant water breathing ability. And it doesn't. You consider it unlikely that she's likely to have any of that in stock.
How far do you think it goes?
As far as I could see, there's another 60 feet of just straight tunnel.
DM?
Yes?
Is Celestia astute enough to realise that this goes towards the coast? Or
From what I'm going to say, yeah, from what the Scamp has described of it, it seems to be the case that unless it comes like the direction they've described it going in, unless it resurfaces somewhere along the way, it seems to be taking the shortest path towards the nearby coastline.
And that's where the ship is, isn't it?
The ship is in port. There are other bits of coastline that it could go to. Most likely, you would assume a sheltered cove somewhere. Either way, yeah, you get the feeling this goes out to sea. And Scamp, you can actually attest to that because I forgot to mention this. As you got deeper in, the water became more and more brackish, tasting more and more of salt.
Okay.
I think that you're both going to hate this, but I think that they are long gone, and I think we have to deal with the problem in front of us, because I think the best chance we have to find them if they've gone all the way to the coast is to get back on your ship. I don't think this tunnel is going to take us anywhere near them, because by the time we have means to get down it, they'll be gone. And it will be an absolute miracle if we manage to find them on your ship. We don't know where they've gone. They could be anywhere. It's already been all night. They can clearly move fast.
Does she have a way of leaving the island? Do you know?
Well, she's
Do you know
not.
anything
You don't
about
know.
hags?
Well, if she can swim underwater, she can just swim anywhere, can't
She had a cockatrice with a saddle. She could have done anything. If she can do that...
I don't think she'd leave the island unless something forced her to.
No, I think she'd leave
So
the island.
let's
Why
go
not?
find this rose bush, get that sorted, and then can we at least look, please?
Yeah.
I feel like this is my fault.
It's not your fault.
How do
We
you
didn't know what the letter would do. How is it your fault?
Because I knew that she was going to do something stupid, and she did something awful, and...
You didn't do it. You didn't write the letter. You didn't send it. You didn't make it shout at everyone in the town. It wasn't you. If you want to blame the person who gave her the letter, I picked up the letter, so blame me if you like, but let's just stop with this game.
Let's go not kill a rose bush, let's go attack a rose bush. And then see what happens.
Yeah, let's do that. Worry about the next thing later.
Okay. You guys.
Set fire to our hut as we leave.
Okay, yeah. As you leave, readying yourselves, you look back over your shoulder at what, after a few well-placed firebolts, is now a giant flaming wooden hand reaching out towards you. But there's something to it which feels less like it's grasping and more like it's struggling. And you just take, if you wish, you can just take 10 minutes to watch it burn.
No, I don't want to look at it.
Okay. You look back once and walk away. Just listening to the crackling behind you. Can I ask for a survival check, please?
God.
To make your way
Surely we know the way now.
You know the way, but this is more like you're able to easily make your way towards the general area. This is more of a question of finding it.
Just to avoid the hazards.
Yeah. Hazard avoidance.
Oh, that's 22.
Nice.
Okay. After it's a bit of a longer trek because you're setting out from a different part, so it takes you about 2.5 hours before you reach the area that Emelina marked out. However, looking around, you're kind of proceeding at a slow pace now that you know where it is, and you spot it just in the distance, about 100 feet off, I'm going to say, is when you first spot what it looks like a large, untidy patch of briars with a few brilliant blue rose-like flowers on it. Peering, you can just make out maybe 8 or 9 small egg-sized, egg-shaped green pods just hanging off the side of it on stems. Whether anything else has seen you, you don't know, but it seems that the strangling rose, for whatever reason, isn't about to rush you from this far away.
Fair enough.
Right. Anyone's really good at grabbing things from a long distance? Any magic? No.
I mean, I might have to make a check for this because I don't know. But can it see? Like what?
Here's the
kind of
thing:
seeing?
you all made a nature check to see if you knew about this thing, and none
I
of you
can't
got
remember
over a
what
10.
mine was. I don't think it was good. Yeah.
No one was over a 10,
was
so
good.
you
Yeah.
I'm
know
gonna
nothing
assume
more
it's
than
like
Emelina has
blind
told you.
sight, so illusions will be bollocks because it's a bush. So
We can
frankly-
test that, I guess, though.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make.
Well, let's not just get it attacking first.
True.
If we're going to sneak up on it, and then just maybe that's the thing to do, and then try distracting it.
Yeah, I just wanted to distract it. I wasn't gonna. Yeah.
Who's anyone particularly stealthy?
Celestia's
I'm
really
reasonably
stealthy. What are you
stealthy.
talking about?
Moderately.
Okay,
Right.
Celestia's a little bit stealthy. She's not too bad.
If I were to try and sneak up, just whack a bit of it off and run.
Oh god.
That would be a
So-
stealth check to
so
try
upsetting.
and approach
I could try
this
that
thing.
because I can stop it attacking me as I run away potentially.
That's true. Okay, in which
If I
case
zap
then, if
Can someone try distracting it and I'll try sneaking up?
Yeah. Why not? Okay, what can I do here?
just throw a rock at it.
I was just gonna make loads
Try
of
an
noise.
illusion. It might.
What about noise? Because even if like a purely visual one won't work, surely it's got some sort of senses. I'm gonna make the noise. How about the noise of a fire?
Or some sort of injured animal it could attack.
Like
Yeah.
like a sad deer. Yeah, okay.
What is the
Let's
sound
do
of a
that.
sad deer?
I don't know.
Or an ill halfling, I can do one of those.
Bambi. It's the
We've
voice of
already got one
Bambi.
of those. Okay, so I'm gonna make the sound of like on the other side, like basically like if the rose bush is in the middle and Scamp is on one side, literally on the other side, I'm gonna make like the noise of something.
Okay.
Scrabbling
Bear in mind,
through the
is this
undergrowth.
minor illusion you're using?
Yeah, minor illusion.
It has a range of 30 feet.
God damn it.
I think it's probably
Bollocks.
just going to be more effective if we chuck a rock at it, see if it reacts to that. If it doesn't, then
we get fancy.
Then crawl up to it. Scamp can shocking grasp it. I'll cut the pod off, and we both run.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
meantime, you cover us.
Yeah, I'm going to stand there with my pistol.
All right.
I would like to stand at a different angle to the other two as well.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So,
No friendly fire.
then.
Quick reminder, your pistol's range is 20 feet without disadvantage, 60 feet with disadvantage.
I'm going to stand like what?
Like, you can shoot a creature within 20 feet of you without disadvantage with the pistol.
And up to 60 feet.
And up to 60 feet in total with
Can I
disadvantage.
stand like 60 feet away?
Yeah, you can try and get within 60 feet of
Can I do
the
that?
of the strangling rose. Okay. You move and sort of judge the distance and move,
Like
off
hiding
to an
behind
angle.
trees, just sort of sight it.
Okay.
in my-
I'd like a stealth check from you since you are hiding behind a tree.
Sure. Okay, so that's 15.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Okay. And so, what did the other? So you're hiding behind a tree, pistol cocked and ready. Scamp and Corzin.
Before I make the stealth check,
Yeah.
can I make a perception check to see if there are any other plants of this type around?
Yes.
Because she didn't say there was only one.
True.
That's gonna be 12.
Looking around, no, there are no other plants of this type that you can see. There's also no other large creatures. There are small creatures. The largest creature around is a monitor lizard about a third of your size and weight, Corzin,
Right.
which is sort of lazily sat on one tree and just sort of licking the air.
it's a
peering
I
little
looking
think
at-
she might have said there was one. I think
I
she
feel
said,
like
I know
she
where there
did.
is one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like
I mean,
no,
that doesn't
good
mean that there
instinct,
is one,
good
don't get me
instinct.
wrong, but like there might be another one, but I don't think she
She
said...
said, I know where there is one, that there was no implication that it was the only one.
True.
But no, as far as you can tell, there's none others of this type
Fine.
around.
Okay, I'm gonna stealth then.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
stealth
going
check,
to
please.
join you in that.
Well,
Oh, that's not
gonna
great.
Be, 12.
14.
Okay. The pair of you moving, using cover, making as little sound as you can.
Commando
It's
crawl.
very
right
soft,
now.
sort of. As there's the most sound you make.
Yeah.
How close do you want to get to it, respectively? Both getting right up next to it.
Yeah,
Oh, we kind of need to, don't we? If you're
you'd
gonna
have to go
grab a
one
pod and I'm
side,
gonna
I'd
zap
go
it.
the other.
Okay, so Scamp, you circle around to
And
the
I'm
far
going to be
side
sort
of
of
it,
slowly prepping a spell.
slowly prepping a spell.
Just ready to shocking grasp.
Corzin, you get right up next to it. For whatever reason, you slowly draw a blade. For whatever reason, whether it hasn't spotted you, so to speak, or it's maybe lying in wait, it has not reacted to your presence. You get right up next to one of the pods, within reach, without being able, without touching any part of it.
Right.
Okay, if you're going to cut a pod off, I need you to make an attack roll with advantage, please.
As soon as he does that, I'm going to shocking grasp it.
Okay. Attack roll with advantage?
Yes.
That would have been a 22.
Yes.
That would have been a 15. So 22.
Okay. Yep. And can you please roll slashing damage with your sword?
That would be a 6.
Okay, that is sufficient slashing damage. And in order to and you just sort of you quickly cut the thick stem connecting the seed pod, and it drops neatly into your hand, and you are immediately ready to start running.
I'm going to... Yeah, as he
Yep.
does that, shocking grasp.
Okay, make an attack roll again with advantage because you successfully surprised it.
Nice.
Lovely. That's a 26 to hit.
Okay, roll damage, please.
What is it? It's a D8, isn't it?
Well, it's something. We've just done the equivalent of sneaking up to something and chopping its bollocks off.
Yes.
That
That
is
is
a 2.
basically what's
Okay.
happened. Yeah.
As you strike it with the shock, the lightning arcs around it, and Scamp, as you glance back as you're running, you see the bit that you just cut, heal closed.
Ooh.
It takes no damage.
I don't need it to, I just want to get rid of its reaction.
Is this a surprise
I'm going to
round?
say, frankly, no. That doesn't get rid of its reaction.
I haven't done anything yet in this surprise round.
You haven't
Can I
done
get
anything in
there?
surprise round yet. That's right. I'm going to say, however, because it is a surprise round, you are also able to start running Scamp because it's a surprise round. It hasn't had a chance to react yet. How far away? Yeah, you can only run your movement, so like 30 feet.
Okay.
You see this happening, and you immediately see the bush start to rustle and shake.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot it.
Okay,
From
make
where I am.
an attack roll. With neither disadvantage nor advantage, because it was advantage for getting the surprise on it, but disadvantage for your distance.
Right.
I'm not up to disadvantage distance, am I?
Yeah,
You're 60 feet away. You're the
right.
Yeah, the maximum
I don't
distance.
understand when disadvantage starts on this.
Disadvantage
above
starts
20.
at 20 feet to 60
Oh, it
feet.
starts at... I misunderstood
Yeah,
that. Cool, but hey-ho.
Yeah.
It's happened. Okay, so... that's rubbish. That's a 10.
No, you shoot a bush. It has no discernible effect, as far as I
Hopefully
can
the
tell.
noise will do something. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
but
mostly
yeah,
aiming
you do
for.
create a loud crack, and various birds start to fly out of the trees.
And then Celestia's going to run also in the direction that she's seeing those two run. She's going to start trying to...
Okay,
offer
this is a
it
good
to
question because Scamp, are you curving around to meet Corzin, or are you going in? Are you sort of?
I'm just
jetting
getting
off?
as far away as possible.
Okay, so you're going one direction. Corzin's going another. Which of them do you want to follow then, Celestia? Corzin or Scamp?
Who's closer to the plant right now?
Both. Actually, Corzin because Corzin only has a speed of 25 feet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to follow Corzin because he's ill and I'm worried, and he's got the thing the plant is going to want back. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use that as my logic and follow him.
Okay. So you're running towards Corzin. Okay, so you're probably So you're within about 30 feet or so of Corzin. Okay, here's the thing where I actually have to get the monster manual back out because I didn't include this in my handwritten notes and find out what reach the strangling rose has.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask people to roll initiative then, please, because the strangling rose. Yeah, it all depends on whether the strangling rose can actually move first.
That's 12 from Celestia.
12 for Scamp.
And
How do we keep doing this? We have the same dexterity as well, so we're going to have to do a D20 battle, aren't we?
Don't worry about that for the moment.
Okay, I got a 17 on the D20 battle. What did you get?
12.
Cool.
Okay, so it's me
Celestia,
first
Scamp,
then,
and
Scamp.
Corzin?
That's a 17 for Corzin.
17. Okay.
But
All
first
three of you
Corzin.
just running?
What?
All three of you just running?
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to use a dash action.
Yeah, you're just
As
dashing.
long as everyone else is getting away. If anyone's been
Yeah,
caught,
no,
just
you all
dash.
beat its initiative, and you are easily able to outpace it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bloody
It
lucky.
follows you until Corzin is able, the slowest of the three, is able to get 60 feet away from it, at which point it kind of runs for about a little bit longer and then eventually slows down and just stops.
I was like, leg it!
And you get the feeling that beyond that range it just can't see.
Oh.
For want of a better term.
Yeah. So yeah, you successfully managed to acquire the seed pod. Which is probably
Something
for the
went
best.
right today.
That thing had some nasty effects if it actually managed to hit you.
Everything's coming up, Horhace.
Oh god,
I'm
right.
just gonna cast mage armor on myself, which I should have done when I woke up. But there we go.
Okay. You make it back to town an hour later. It's not too hard a journey. You know the path from here. The seed pod clutched carefully in your hands. There is a quiet, grim air over the town when you return. There's the strong, distant scent of smoke. In the square outside the mayor's house, where the feasting tables have been set up for Clara's birthday, a pole has been driven into the ground from which is hanging a charred body.
These people are fucked up.
Hmm.
What?
I'm gonna actually, just for the hell of it, because you raised it, Scamp, make a wisdom check.
Just straight wisdom.
Yeah, just straight wisdom. See if you can figure something out.
15.
It occurs to you that this town has been under the influence of a hag for a very long time.
Oh.
Averting your eyes, potentially, from the grisly scene, you make your way to...
I try and sort of cover Scamp's eyes because I know she gets fucked up about these things, but I guess she's already seen
I
it,
saw
so-
a dead man burst when he hit the ground. I think that I'm good now.
Yeah.
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 You make
But
your
still,
way...
oh no.
Yeah.
This is like the Friends spell, isn't it? But really big. This is what happens when you cast Friends for 7 years.
Oh.
When you make your way to the apothecaries, and the door is locked, and when you knock, there's a bit of a shuffle before you hear the sound of a bar being lifted, and the door opens slightly on a chain. She peeks through. Oh, thank the Regent, it's you. She unhooks the chain. Come in.
We go inside.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he shoves you in and relocks and bars the door. Oh, by the Regent and all the saints. Everything went crazy last night.
What happened?
I suppose you must have gone by that point, but I suppose the witch, who really was a witch, she just started screaming to the whole town about this this pact that the mayor had made, and I don't know if she seemed to have evidence, but the crowd, I went out to see what was going on, and people took justice into their own hands. The militia intervened in time, but not in time to save Mr. Off, and she sort of shudders. Maybe after this I might work on selling off the rest of my stock and getting out of this town. I don't think I like it here anymore.
I don't blame you.
She shudders. But forget about my woes. The seed pod, do you have it?
I hold it out.
Oh, thank the Regent. She takes it from your hand. Okay, make yourself comfortable. As I said, this is going to take me about 4 hours, so... And she goes into the back, and you sit reminiscing on the events that have transpired, and watch as she begins to work with various liquids and strange powders, and definitely some other parts of animals that she mixes together, and seems to render down the seed pod until the whole thing has become a deep green sludge, which then she renders down further until it becomes a small, concentrated pill. Yes.
While this is happening very, very early on,
Yeah.
actually, like almost immediately, as soon as she said it's going to take 4 hours, it appears we have some time. We wanted to look for this child.
Yeah.
I would like to get out of here as soon as possible. I don't think we have a lot of hope finding this child, so let's do it while we have time.
Okay.
I asked the apothecary, was anyone else hurt?
Yes, there were. I've not seen the. I've not seen Gunter, the servant who worked for the mayor since last night. I hope he just fled, but I don't know. And some people were injured. The militia fired some warning shots, but a couple of people tried to, in the high spirits, they tried to tangle with them, and one person was, yes. So, the priest has been busy this morning as well.
Regent, damn it.
No one you knew well, I hope.
Sorry?
Did you know them well?
No. I don't even know their name. Just someone who lived in town. I think I might have sold them a remedy for a cough once.
Oh, let's go for a walk.
Okay.
Leave.
How would you like to search? Are you sort of combing the coastline? Or? Yeah.
When I get outside, I'm going to go basically back to the docks.
Yeah.
And follow the coast around.
Make an investigation check.
Can I help?
Yeah, I'd like to help as well, but I guess that just gives him advantage, does it?
Yeah, use it with advantage.
Looks like I'm going to need it.
So, first one was rubbish. That's better.
Investigation. Oh, that's 16.
How long do you want to
6.
spend working? How long do you want to spend searching? What's the most time you'd be willing to search?
How big's this island?
I mean, it's like this is like the outermost island of what is essentially like a delta leading onto the mainland. So, like, there's a fair bit of coastline to search. So, I'm just asking, how many hours would you be willing to give it?
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Searching for 4 and then being willing to take another hour to return, or like searching for 3 and being willing to take an hour to return.
3 and then an hour to return.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we sort of work out where, if it was a straight line, that tunnel would come out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you follow that.
Yeah.
And it gives you a place to start. And partway through the 3rd hour, you find a small smuggler's cove nestled in. It would have been concealed last night by the high tide.
Oh.
But it's sunk low enough that you can kind of get partway in and see. The tunnel does emerge here. It's not directly straight on, it must have veered a little to throw any pursuers off, but looking through you can see that there is a old semi-rotten from submersion in the water jetty here. There may have been a craft moored here, there's certainly space enough for it, and it's gone.
Right.
But yeah, looking at it, you'd guess that if you swam straight for 35-40 minutes, you could get here from the hub.
Right. When you say a craft, are we talking?
We're talking
rowing boat sized? Are we all?
We're talking like a small, like a yacht, like a small yacht
or a skiff.
Yeah, like a skiff. Not like a full-on sailing ship, but something that would be quick enough to certainly get a fair bit of headway in 8 hours.
Alright, well...
Actually, now more like 12.
Corzin would know, or at least have a reasonable idea, what the maximum range of one of those would be in 12 hours.
But with that time, she could have gotten to another island, different part of the coastline, gone to another hideout. Or just...
You can't track a ship.
Yeah. Like, except by sight and knowing... You can track a ship if you know where they're likely to go, but if she's just going to another hideout, if she's got something somewhere else prepared, and knowing this crone, she almost certainly does.
Yeah.
Celestia says, I think this one's lost.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
You pick yourselves up, make your way back into town, where Emelina, the soul, the alchemist, presents you with a small, which is surprisingly small, green pill, which seems to be the rendered down and shrunk remains of the seed pod. It's quite a bitter pill, but nothing to the egg you swallowed. And over the next hour, very fast, not magically fast it would seem, but fast enough, you feel the fever finally break and colour return to your skin. You get back your 2 maximum hit points.
Yay!
As the tonic successfully restores your filth fever. You also have the opportunity to return to the ship, where you can see the crew are less jubilant and inclined towards their drinking as before. A lot of them are still on ship after the chaos of the previous night.
Right, I was going to say, I don't suppose many people are in the...
You can see that...
Is everyone okay, actually?
Yeah.
Talking around, everyone made it back onto the ship. Most sailors, like the privateers, know that when a crisis breaks out that's not related to you, you get out of the way of any law enforcement that might be looking to arrest without much impunity.
Yeah.
It's not
they all, as soon as things really broke out, they essentially, talking to Seaman Salts about it, fought their way back to the ship and just got everyone on board, pulled up the gangplank and waited it out.
Right.
Bosun Solder finished up getting the provisions in pretty quickly this morning.
Right.
You're actually the last of the crew to come back.
Fair enough.
And it is actually Solder who is standing the watch when you return. And you say it's a human woman, tan skin, tight brown hair. Oh, good to see you, Horhace. Good to see you, Celestia Scamp. I was a bit worried with everything that happened last night. You'd been taken in by the Bluecoats.
No, the Bluecoats weren't really a problem for us.
We heard everything going down. Glad you weren't caught up in that riot.
Glad to see you too.
Local politics, and he spits on the deck.
She nods and spits as well. Alright, I think we'll probably be casting off. And it's about this point that 2 of you find yourselves considering ways forward from here. Slavitska's Isle is but half a day's journey to the north. At the same time, though, Celestia, you've received the results of a troubling vision. Right now, the ship is planning to continue in search of shipping, perhaps of the very Saber's Fancy that they've been told to keep an eye out for.
If the Saber's Fancy is still above water.
Either of you, and certainly the 3 of you, with the collective pull you have with the captain right now, with your recent heroics in defence against the Hawks, could make a request to go one way or the other. But it's up to the 3 of you to decide where you want to head next.
So I know you have that treasure map, but that island isn't going anywhere, and the person I'm looking for potentially already has. So
I don't care. Go wherever. The Scamp's just gonna go find like a pile of crates and sit behind them, just out the way where no one can see.
Corzin, you've got some pull with the captain, haven't you?
Aye.
What can I do to convince you? Anything? Literally anything. What do you want? What does the captain want?
Do we know that it's within a day's sail of here?
Nope.
We don't actually know distances.
I would say there are, knowing its path, if it was heading towards Crosswater and it sank, it could have been within a day's sail of here. A day's sail is 156 nautical miles.
Right.
So, on average, depending on wind.
So it could be a day.
So it could be within a day's sail.
Do we know anything about ships with red sails? I assume not, but
Corzin, I think, is the only one who could possibly make a history check.
I mean, I doubt it, but
ships
just
with
on
red sails.
Yeah, because it got
rammed.
set upon by a ship with red sails, didn't it?
That is. Are we doing history?
Yeah.
11.
rings a bell and you're trying to figure out why. And it hits you. You've never encountered a ship with red sails, and you don't know much about them. But you do know one old sailor who supposedly maybe tangled with them once, long ago. She's an old drinking buddy of yours, a woman by the name of Lucky Lucia, an old human now. You knew her quite a number of years ago. If she's still where she was when you last saw her, she'd be the person to ask. But where she was last time you were there was the port town of Balwick's Bay, which is at least just over a day's sail away. You could always...
On the way to Crosswater?
On the way towards Crosswater, heading north, yeah. It's a place you could certainly at least ask the captain to drop you there to make inquiries. And it is heading broadly in the way of the lanes they'd be searching anyway.
Well, if we're heading in that direction anyway, it seems to make the most sense.
Obviously, if you relayed this to me, actually, is a good point, because we've just been talking. Yeah. It's up to you whether you want to tell Celestia that or not, obviously.
Well, what I'll say is that, if it's red sails, then we need to go and speak to an old drinking buddy of mine. I think, well, you leave it with me. I'll speak to the captain.
Is it on the way to Crosswater? Will we still be heading in that general direction?
There's every chance.
Yeah, it is definitely towards the way.
Right.
So we'd be able to pass through where they might have sunk.
Well, we don't even know that they've sunk yet.
True. But if they have, surely there'd be some sign. It's my point. We'd be able to tell if they had or hadn't.
If they've sunk within the last day or so, there's usually some flotsam, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think it's the best we've got. Are you happy to talk to the captain?
Yeah, I'll go and speak with the captain now.
Thank you.
Alright. You make...
Celestia actually takes your hand for a second when she says thank you, it's a proper thank you. It's
Okay.
not a small one. There's no snooty about it.
You make your way towards the captain's cabin, and knocking at the door, you hear a voice. Right, come in, and make your way in.
I'm going to come in with you.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
looks up
proper
at
invested.
Captain
I know how
Brandy looks up at the pair of you, gives you a nod, finishes. He downs a shot of rum that he'd been having. Captain Brandy himself does not abstain from day drinking after the night he's
his
had.
name's fucking Captain Brandy.
Captain Marlin Brandy.
Marlon
Oh,
Brandy.
God.
Fuck off. Seriously.
What? It's perfectly normal Orcish name.
So Captain
Right.
Captain Brandy, who you can see has bags under his eyes, he was clearly standing watch last night.
I say, rough night, Captain.
He sees it. You would kind of peers at the pair of you. Actually, maybe you would believe. Let's just say I'm glad the bosun's managed to get all our supplies. Seems to be a strain of bad luck following us when we make port lately.
Well,
When I heard they gibbeted the mayor.
Yeah, it did look like it.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back to the sea lanes. Maybe we can find that Thrynes ship you were looking for.
yeah, on that note, we may have come across some additional information.
Oh, aye?
Celestia.
Are, in fact.
So I had some scrying done by someone, and
Right.
had them scry on the ship. and it looked like they were run into by a ship with red sails.
Red sails?
Don't know if they're still up. Didn't see that far. You don't know anything about ships with red sails, do you?
I mean, ships can have all sorts of sails.
Yeah,
Full red sails doesn't sound like, if it was an attack, and probably sounds more like a pirate of some sorts. I know most of the privateers that operate in these waters. Don't think any of them have red sails, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Well, we were thinking on the way to Crosswater, we could, for a start, maybe see if there's a sign of any ships that have been sunk. Just in case. We hope not, but...
Got no problem with salvage and jettison, I.
Yeah. And also, you had... Corzin has a friend who apparently knows something about ships with red sails. She's got some sort of tie with them. Where did you say it was?
Sorry, what was the name?
Out of character, what the fuck was the name of this town?
Ballwick's Bay.
Yeah, you remember this place.
Yeah. It's in Ballwick's Bay, although I know this is a bit of perhaps a touchy subject with him, but you don't think perhaps old Uncle Vig might know about...
I've heard a few of his stories from when he's in his cups, and if it was... It'd be more than just red sails if it was his lot who were responsible.
What are his lot? What do you mean?
Reavers.
Reavers.
What are those?
Right. So you know how there's privateers and then there's pirates?
Yes.
Go a step further. That's reavers. They're elves. They're elves that roam the high seas, and smart folk run on the sight of them. And it'd be more than red sails. There'd be... You'd know a reaver ship if one had been...
But they have red sails?
They have all sorts of sails.
Okay, good.
Whatever scrap of fabric they can scavenge or loot or pillage.
So red sails isn't a specific thing that they have?
No. As I said, any number of ships can have red sails. But red sails, I'll grant you, is flashy. That sounds to me like a ship that would want a reputation. So maybe if you're willing to risk going back to Ballwick's Bay, Corzin, maybe if your friend knows something about them, they can point you in the right direction. But all I can say is they're no privateer that I know, and they don't sound like a warship. That don't sound like a warship belonging to any navy.
Not privateers, not warships, not reavers. So
sounds like a pirate. And again, if you know someone who might know of them more directly, that'd be the way to ask. I don't mind dropping you off in Ballwick's Bay. We'll be looking around we'll be sailing around the area anyway.
Well, with any luck, we'll run into these Thornies before we get there.
Aye. All right. You all look knackered. Get a bit of rest. You'll be on the watch after this one. We'll get on our way.
Bye, Captain.
thank you.
Oh, and kind of rubs his eyes. Pass that onto Vig. I need some rest myself.
Will do.
And he slumps off towards his bed. You do pass on the message.
Yeah.
And with that, the ship begins to make sail.
I'm going to go see if Scamp's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to turn to Corzin. Is there any alcohol on this ship?
Is that a trick question?
No, I just need to drink something.
I thought we agreed no more day drinking.
I do not give a single shit.
Come on, I'll show you where the rum rations are.
Okay. Cecily's going to down some rum. she's going to get another glass of rum and take it to the child. And
Responsible adult.
You use up the next 2 days rum
that is
rations.
fine.
It's like,
She needs them now. She's going to take a glass of rum over to Scamp and sit by the crates. Sort of pass the rum over, like over the top of the crates. How are you doing?
She's 7.
What was that? Technical difficulties.
She's 7 years old.
I know.
That's nothing.
How old are you?
I don't know.
More than 7?
Yeah. Yeah, I think... I remember at least 7 years. So I've got to be older than 7.
Of course. So, it's very nice how much you care. It's great, actually. You should keep it. But I don't think there's a lot you can do here.
Not now. But I'll find a way.
In the meantime...
Because it's not good being that... I mean, it's terrible being on your own, but being someone like... Someone that bad, that's worse. That's worse than being alone.
I know.
I've been there, it's not good.
We tried.
I didn't try hard enough.
What else could we have done?
I should have shot that bird down. I didn't want to hurt her, but I could have shot it down.
But then she could have died. You could have killed her with a firebolt. That wouldn't have done any good, would it?
Could stop her falling.
Scamp.
If I'm close enough.
Let
I
it
don't
go.
know. No, I won't think on it. I won't let it take me over, but I'm not letting it go.
Alright, don't let
I'm
it
gonna
go,
make
but
this
put
right.
it down for now.
Okay.
If you want to blame somebody, blame me. I delivered the letter, okay?
No,
you
I
didn't do
blame
anything.
the fucking stupid half-orc and the stupid people who laugh at people for being ugly. How's that right? Should have
It's
burnt
not.
the whole town down.
But Scamp... If you try and kill every bad person you come across, there's not going to be anyone left. Some people
Would that
are
be a
just...
bad thing?
Well, then you'd be a bad person because you'd have killed everyone. There. Drink your rum.
I down the rum in one.
I
am very drunk. Actually,
I just because I realised you actually did this you'd actually used it previously, and I forgot it in between the long rest. I'm just going to ask you to roll a d100 for me, please.
Oh, now? Oh, God.
You are a bad man.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to ask you guys, because you've got my player's manual, to tell me.
Right.
It's the page is
I've got it somewhere if that helps.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Yeah, the page is the only one that's got a green tab on it. I think it's the green tab or the pink tab, one of those. Pink tab.
Okay, well I've just
What
looked
did you
it up
roll?
and that is the best thing ever. I rolled a 48.
48?
40
A unicorn controlled by the DM appears in a space within 5 feet of you, then disappears 1 minute later.
Okay,
Now!
as you down the shot, and as you down the shot, your vision sort of blurs for the moment. Celestia, you kind of like, you sort of sigh.
I'm just like I'm gonna be putting a hand on her
Yeah,
shoulder
you're
to
on her
comfort her,
shoulder.
like, trying to have like a meditative sad moment together.
Yeah, her your vision sort of blurs for a moment as Scamp, as you look up. There is this beautiful white horse hidden behind the crates. No one else can see it but you and Celestia. Just this amazing white horse, whiter than white, with a curled horn sticking out of its forehead. As it sort of and it looks at you with sad eyes. And
Celestia jumps to her feet and goes, "What in the name of the royal fucking Underdark is happening right now?"
I made a unicorn!
The unicorn seems to ignores you, and it looks at you, Scamp, and it lowers its head and it sort of nuzzles you affectionately on the cheek, and it touches you with its horn. And as it does so, this sense of almost peace, more like sadness and release, passes through you. You feel like everything you're trying to hold back, all the frustration, it's just starting to come out in tears, and you feel awful, but the tears won't stop flowing, and it's healing in a strange way. The unicorn stays nuzzling your cheek for most of a minute. Turn and it
I'm
bows
gonna
its head.
hug her.
Yeah, it bows its head. It turns. It passes behind the crates.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit with Scamp and just sort of hold on to her for a bit until she's done.
You never see that unicorn again. I mean,
Well,
unless we roll that.
Celestia's also just gonna down the rest of her rum with one hand
Yeah,
while she's holding on
yeah.
to the weeping
No one
tiefling
else
with the
on the
other.
ship
Like,
sees a unicorn. No one else.
It couldn't have turned up, like, before we went after the fucking plant monster. Unicorns can heal disease! Oh, well.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Corzin comes down and goes, okay, am I going absolutely
don't even just.
balmy? Or did I just hear, like, hoof prints down here?
I'm just gonna minor illusion a little picture of a unicorn, and it looks like a child drew it. It doesn't look
Aww.
Okay.
Celestia's just gonna go, a lot's happened today, and I just... Let's just not even go there, okay? It was just something weird happened. It was a selection and a long list of weird things that have happened today. Let's just leave it there, okay? She just hangs on to Scamp as she's saying this.
Okay.
You.
I'm sorry, I feel duty bound to ask. Is it a, like an independent weird thing, or is it a Scamp-based weird thing?
It's a Scamp-based weird thing.
Right. Anything broken?
No, everything's fine.
Anything disappeared in other ways messed about with?
Nope.
Right, I won't ask.
Okay, and the three of you sit in quietly for an hour or so until your ship comes up. The ship makes sail towards around the delta and large islands that make up the headland on which Pader's March is based. Curving actually not more than 30 miles from Slavitska's Isle on the course it makes. The ship, the following day, because it actually no, it would be not even the following day, that evening, based as you're hit by good winds. So the evening of the 14th makes it to the town of Balwick's Bay. Balwick's Bay is a larger town than Scholar's Cove was, and it seems it seems like fairly busy. The docks are larger. There's more ships in them. There's also a seawall that has been built to contain the harbour, and you can see that there are winches either side for a chain boom to be raised to block incoming or outgoing ships should the docks need to be sealed down for whatever reason. The ship makes what is planned to be a brief stop-off, but as they make port, you look up and you can see there is what appears to be an Osirian merchanter in port at the moment. And as you're on deck as the ship's pulling in, and First Mate V is watching that and goes, I think that Uncle Vig might have a word with with the local shipping, the harbour master's assistant in this part. Find out maybe when that ship is leaving.
Do I hear this?
Oh yeah, you're right by him.
Do we all hear this?
Okay.
Yeah, you all hear this. You're all on deck at the same time.
I say to him, I will be delighted to make your introductions.
Celestia's just looking back and forth. Am I missing something here? Like what is happening? What?
If we know when the ship is leaving, then we can wait a little while, follow after it, wait until it reaches a point away from observers, and he draws a finger across his throat. We make payday.
I see for a second.
Yeah.
Possibly to be cut out of the podcast. Have I flat out just missed if this has red sails, or is this literally just
Oh no, this
something
doesn't
else?
have red sails. This
Okay,
is
cool.
just.
I'm sorry.
No,
You were all looking at me with such meaning. I was like, I think I've missed something here.
This is just a merchant ship which they are planning to rob.
Okay, I have just legitimately missed something
Yeah.
here. Okay, cool. I was worried that I hadn't heard a bit of a certain sentence
There are
or
no
something.
ships in port with red
You
sails.
haven't missed anything, it's that there is information you don't know.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
it's just
cool.
information you don't know. But no,
You both did really good acting and were looking at me like with such meaning that I just thought I'd literally like out of character missed something. I was like, am I just like panicking?
Looking around this port, I can say actually, yeah, there are ships with blue sails, green sails, one with purple rimmed sails, but there's no ships with red sails.
Where's that one from?
That one
like that
is
one. Cool.
it is actually yeah, it is a ship flying the colours of Tyre, the most prominent of the city-states of the Tyrian principalities and the seat of the Church of Regency.
Cool.
Yeah, not an official ship from the looks of it, just one of their trading ships. It just happens to be parked in, and they have the most ostentatious flag colours.
Fantasy Vatican.
So I'm going to
Yes.
turn to
Pretty much.
Corzin and just flat out ask, so what's that ship to you then?
The ship, never seen it before in my life, but I do happen to know the harbour master here.
The ship that Uncle Pete was talking about.
No, never seen that one before in my life, but
Harbour Master.
I know the harbour master here, and I think I might be able to swing us a favour.
Okay.
You know the harbour master here. You do remember why you know the harbour master here?
Yes, once I conduct my notes on them.
Yeah, you definitely want to check your notes in this one. Because
okay.
Yeah. There's a reason you know the harbour master here.
Oh my god, Corzin has such a heavy backstory. I'm loving this.
Just in brief, he's been about a bit.
In what way?
I mean, he's been sailing for a while. He's met a lot of people.
Yes. And?
There's something very specific I need to ask this harbour master about, but it's an excuse to open a dialogue.
Okay. And
I will say that you recall that potentially you may wish to keep your head down during this visit a certain amount, based on the circumstances in which you left.
And this friend of yours, is she nearby?
It is evening, so the sun is setting and the taverns are filling up. From your previous time here, Corzin, I'm going to say that you can recall there essentially being, there's some smaller drinking holes, but there's 3 pubs worth noting. The Wishing Fish, which is more of a middle upper class sort of haunt. The Mermaid's Milk, where most of the sailors drink.
I'm sorry, I'm such a child.
Are mermaids mammals?
Not exactly.
I don't want to think about
You'd
that
have to
too
go up.
hard.
You'd have to go up to this and look at the sign, and the Stuck Pig, which is kind of where, as you recall, that's kind of a rough and tumble sort of place.
Well, I want to know about this mermaid.
I have me and Scamp having a conversation with them. Actually, are we in the town yet?
Yeah, I'm going to say you guys are as the ship is.
Sorry, I assume we were walking around, but I
has
really
made
hadn't
dock,
actually
you're
said
now
that.
kind of you slip off to I'm actually going to say you slip off one gangplank while First Mate V goes to talk to the not the harbour master, but one of the harbour master's assistants. The harbour master himself does not appear to be immediately present, at least doing his job right now. You do notice. Actually, I'm going to say make a perception check.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you notice anything curious about the harbour master.
Me personally or everyone?
Anyone who wants to make one.
Yes.
Yeah, why not? Newtown. No, don't see
That
anything.
would be well.
Oh, what is mine?
Scamp's
be
really
7.
distracted by the idea
7.
of mermaids.
That is a 14.
Okay, the harbour master's assistant is fairly, not particularly memorable figure. Just seems to be a slightly bookish looking young human woman. But flanking her, kind of almost like walking a few steps behind, there are a couple of kind of rougher looking sorts. A man and a woman, both human, in what look like simple, kind of dusty, faded blue robes. And one of them has a quarterstaff, and the other has a kind of has like you can see a long-handled workman's hammer at his belt, and they just sort of seem to be following the harbour master, kind of presenting a bit of a tough front.
Do I recognise either of them?
Oh man! See, if Celestia's pointed this out to you, then you can make an intelligence check just to check your memory.
Okay. Has she?
Yeah.
Okay.
You found this curious enough to point out to Corzin?
Why does the harbour master have guards? It's weird.
That would be if it's straight intelligence, that's a 9.
They look like some people you might know, but it's hard to recognise a face from the perspective of a boot.
Fair enough.
So, where do you wish to head? There is also, looking around, there's, apart from the various local buildings, there's also quite a large temple near on the harbour front, and you can recognise there is the distinctive hook symbol of St. Capron, the patron saint of fishermen, on the front.
So, where's this friend of yours?
Well, I suggest that we start off in the Stuck Pig and work from there.
Okay.
What about this mermaid?
Yeah, as we're walking past the mermaid's milk.
Do
mermaids have milk?
You can walk past the mermaid's milk, and it sounds like there's a fair bit of banter going on from within, and you can see the sign has a very busty mermaid, holding what appears to be 2 tankards filled with milk. They are slightly
Okay,
frothing
I thought you were going to say something way worse.
When she's holding the tankards and the size and how ridiculously over-endowed she is, there is an obvious pun being made in the sign.
Slightly Starbucks symbol after dark.
Oh god, like corn Starbucks. I lean over to Scamp and I'm just like, maybe that's just other milk that she's drinking. Maybe.
I think it's probably best not to think about it.
Yeah, okay, let's just...
I can't
Stop
help
pig!
it, I was thinking.
Okay.
You're a child, stop thinking, let's go to the Stop Pig. Let's go to the rough bar, child, instead. Come on.
Okay, so you head to the Stuck Pig, and it's tucked a little out of the way, and there is what at first on the sign looks to be a comical image of a pig whose head is stuck in between a fence, but you can see that its rear, its back legs and flank is proceeding, and on the back legs and flank you can see there is painted an image of a spear through it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's as if they made the pun and then decided just to disconcert you to put the an actual stuck pig as well.
Oh,
yeah, you remember this sign, Corzin.
We get beaten up.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my
If you
hood
make eye
up.
contact, come on.
Yeah, hood up, dwarf mode on.
Celestia's a fucking idiot, so she's just going to bang in through the door with no subtlety whatsoever.
Okay.
I straighten my tricorn and stand up to my full, rather insignificant height.
Full 2'8".
10, thank you very much.
2'10", sorry.
Swagger your
same, I'm
way in.
6'4".
Can I have...
Inches are important.
Can I have a charisma check from... Just a straight charisma check from Celestia and from Corzin, as you
All
guys.
right.
Fucking hell, right. Oh god, that's terrible, this idea. That is a 9.
Corzin?
A 10.
Shit.
Okay.
Wasn't outrolled the bard.
Yeah,
bard
as you sort of
fucking
flounce
4, that's
in,
why.
Celestia, and you get a couple of like weird looks, and you can see this tavern is full of very rough, kind of like cut up looking men and women, some halflings, some humans who are busy sort of dicing hard drinking. It's quite a dingy sort of dive. Corzin, you walk in like with a bit of a swagger, and you see a couple of people look over and then hide their faces.
The vast majority of people in this pub need to shave on an hourly basis.
Oh yeah.
And that's just the women.
Oh wow.
The,
Can I roll a perception to see if I've noticed people looking away from Corzin?
You don't need to.
Okay, is it that obvious? Right.
And you can see as the near the bar, behind the bar, which is full of various bottles of various types, there is a bald half elf, kind of wiry but muscled. He's wearing a similar outfit to Corzin, sans the tricorn, but that kind of waistcoat, like vest, but no shirt. He is, as I say, half elf. He has deep black skin. You'd think maybe like the Sanistani heritage in there, like not like charcoal grey.
There's what heritage? Sorry.
Sanistali, like from the minor continent of Sanistal.
Okay.
It's a surface land. Unlike the charcoal grey sort of black skin of the drow, this looks to be probably from his human side.
Just like a normal
black
person, frankly.
Yes, very, very dark brown.
Yeah.
But from the elven side, you can see he has golden-looking eyes.
Okay, interesting.
And he also looks like he frowned too much as a child and it's stuck.
Amazing.
He is wiping out a mug with a rag as you approach. Corzin. Been some time.
So it has.
Kind of doesn't quite make eye contact with you. Like, kind of looks up, nods, goes back to polishing mugs.
Still serving the same old dross.
Yeah. Actually, I recently managed to procure an even shitter dross than that, if you'd like. So, how many do you want? 3?
3.
He pours out. He pours out a small shot of just this, almost like cough syrup in consistency, black.
Is it fucking Jaeger?
It
Is that what it
smells
is?
strongly of rum and medicine and a medicinal sort
it's rum
of
Jaeger.
herbs.
Celestia goes, I'll buy.
No.
Yeah, Celestia says, I'll buy. I owe you.
He nods to you. Be 12 copper pennies.
Okay. And
Takes them. And yeah, they are definitely a shot to be knocked back. You don't want to savour this stuff any longer than you have to.
He looks at it and says, I wanted a drink, not fucking lamp oil.
Get that down, you are boys some ale as well. And says, be 6 copper for the ales. Pours you out 3 ales. They're more palatable. So, it's some nerve you got showing your face in these parts, Corzin. You're aware there's still a warrant for you.
I just turn and look at him, lean on the bar, and just like arms crossed, just fucking give him a look. A warrant?
Ha! What did you do? I mean, I'm a dwarf.
He looks around. I'm just going to say, make a deception check.
Celestia sniggers into her ale glass. Like,
That is a 25.
Oh yeah.
fucking how did that work?
The barman.
Fuck off.
The barman who you recall from experience, Corzin, is called Theron. No last name.
Right.
So he looks at you and goes, "Yes, I can see that." And looks at you very strangely while finishing pouring.
I just say, ignore him, he's already in a few cups.
Alright.
So he nods to you. If you haven't already downed the shots, he says, "Corzin knows the proper way to drink that, but if you fancy, you can just drop one into the other."
I'm gonna do that.
Okay,
I'm gonna do a fucking
you
in-character
depth charge.
Jaeger bomb because fuck you all, that's why.
You essentially depth charge this shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
basically...
probably what it's called, actually, the depth charge.
Yeah.
Depth charge. I love that. That's a much better name for a Jaeger bomb.
Awful.
Just be sure to copyright that. Okay?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's rough.
And my eyes streaming afterwards.
Oh,
Corzin says, "Now, look, I've got absolutely nothing against any either you or any of your patrons. I'm just in here for a quiet drink and to possibly meet up with a few associates of mine."
Would these be the associates who washed up on shore earlier today?
I don't know. You tell me.
If you're looking for those shipwreck survivors, they're currently in the mermaid's milk.
Celestia leaves.
Maybe
She
an
just
old friend
goes.
of
We're in the
yours.
wrong pub.
Wait. How many of them?
6 of them made it.
If either of you are still there,
Celestia's not, she's gone.
okay,
I'm in the door. I'm at the door.
then
Sort
for
of
the
tall.
benefit of our audience,
Yes.
I'm at the door.
Oh,
I'm
do you need us
watching.
to take our headphones out?
no,
No.
it was just
Yeah.
causing drains slightly.
Yeah. Well,
They turned up today.
Yeah, they managed to make. They rowed in on what was left of a rowboat. From what I hear, they're the only one of the lifeboats that made it. If you want their story, probably better to go ask them in person.
He sort of turns around and goes, "Fucking Regent's teeth. The same fucking day? Same fucking day?" And, actually no, he just leaves the ale on the bar and turns around.
I'll keep this warm for you.
That's not how you should drink. Never mind. Ew.
Cecily's already in the mermaid's milk, she's
Yeah.
fucking gone, mate. Like,
Yeah, you go to catch up with the others. Okay, Celestia, you storm out, head straight to the mermaid's milk.
yeah, I'd literally just do a circuit round the part and
Yeah,
just,
you just
look
go
for
around.
fucking Leah, to be
Oh
honest.
no, yeah, okay, so looking in, you immediately see that most of the bar's attention is focused in on a handful of sailors. 6 of them, some male, some female, none of them Leah. They all look bedraggled, and the people are kind of buying them. Yeah, like drinks have been stacked up next to them. Most of them are on one table. A couple of them are off by the side, kind of eating some watery soup. And you can see this tavern is much friendlier by and large. There's not everyone is focused in on these survivors, but there's a few others here and there drinking, generally having a good time. The barman here is again, as different from Theron as you can get. He's a big bearded, fat, plump halfling with a very loud yellow waistcoat. He is in kind of busy juggling various orders. You also notice, just because it's impossible not to, perched on a bar stool, kind of high up, and several, clearly from the tankers, empty tankers to one side, several ways into his cups, is a gnome, male, short golden hair, blue eyes, in an eye-searing red waistcoat, with a white shirt, an orange cravat, black trousers, shiny shoes. You can see off to one side there is a broad brimmed red hat with a feather in. Just seems to be busy, quietly having it's not actually that quietly. You can just hear this kind of raucous singing along to the bard, the minstrel. There is actually already a minstrel, playing along a popular tune in this tavern, as opposed to the kind of dour chatter of the stuck pig.
Celestia's going to go up to the barman. Sorry, do you know if there are any other survivors from the shipwreck?
Well, hello there, says the barman. Welcome to the... right. Sorry, but I'm afraid it's only those 6 who made it through. Terrible ordeal they went through.
Do you know what happened? What ship was it? What?
Yes, they're survivors from the Saber's Fancy. Ship got taken down pretty late last night. They managed to row to safety, but it seems like of all the lifeboats, they're the only one that made it. Maybe you might, if you knew anyone on that, maybe you might want to talk to one of the kind of...
Yeah, she's already gone over. Yeah. She doesn't even listen to the end of the sentence. She's going over to any of them.
Okay then, right.
Yeah.
Come back if you want a drink.
Yeah, she's going to go over to them, just the corner where they are.
There's the 2 who are just sort of sipping their soup.
Did any of you know a woman called Leah on the Saber's Fancy? Sorry, I'm a friend. Leah Don?
They kind of
elf,
shrug.
Blonde, blue eyes. Bracelet. It was sort of a bracelet like half a moon, although they might have taken that off her. I don't know.
No one on the crew like that.
Not in the crew. She would have been a slave.
We didn't really we didn't really interact with the cargo.
The cargo.
Yeah. And by this point, Scamp, you will have come in and seen what's happening and been able to come up.
A few moments.
Did you ever see any cargo that had blonde hair and blue eyes and was a fucking elf by any chance?
The pair of them kind of look at each other cautiously. Look, maybe there was, but we didn't deal with. We just sailed the ship, all right. We didn't want to deal with any cutthroats and criminals that were being sold as slaves. That wasn't our job. We just manned the rigging.
What happened to any of them? Any ideas? Please tell me the story. I have money. I have anything you like.
Okay, look, it's fine. We were attacked by pirates last night. They were in this frigate, had bright red sails. They caught up to us. They started shooting us. Some of the slaves they got free. They fought us. They fought the guards for weapons. They started trying to moving to take the ship. The Fancy couldn't move at that point, so we all just got onto lifeboats. We tried to make our way out. About 6 of the lifeboats got away, but by that point the pirates were already pulling in. The pirates, they fired a few parting shots, took down most of the lifeboats. I think there were about 2, maybe 3 of us made it away before they started boarding and looting the ship. And then the other boats, they got lost in the waves, and we're as far as I know, we're the only ones that made it to shore.
Right. Did you see anyone dead? Any slaves? Anyone? No slaves got in lifeboats, right?
No.
Did you see anyone dead?
I can't think of anyone that matched.
Use your brain. Did you see anyone dead? Blonde, blue eyes, elf.
No, I didn't see anyone dead like that. We were just focused on getting out.
Were they taking people alive?
By that point, we'd left the ship. I don't know. I'm going to say, Corzin, make a perception check.
Right. 21.
Yeah, scanning the room, you can see in one corner, already having spotted you, come in. There is an older-looking human woman, probably in her early 60s, still pretty heavily muscled for her age, with a white sailor's tail, currently busy chewing on some chewing tobacco. And yeah, you make eye contact. It's Lucky Lucia. She kind of gives you a nod as you come in, and then looks over at the small commotion happening over at the side table.
Celestia's being too loud and too
Yeah.
obvious. She's not being subtle.
Yeah.
So there's literally nothing useful you can tell me. Nothing at all. You didn't take note of any of your cargo's faces even slightly.
Ken, we didn't
Didn't give them a second thought. No.
We didn't. Look, that wasn't our job. We just sailed the ship.
Celestia just knocks his ale over and fucks off to the bar and gets herself a drink.
I'm going to use a minor illusion to make a little voice go, "You're an idiot," behind his ear.
Why? He turns around and they just sort of.
I wish Celestia had walked off slowly enough to see that, but I really
Yeah.
didn't think. I really don't think she did. Unfortunately.
The two of them kind of like, John, shall we? Yeah, let's just.
Celestia's going to go up to the bar
and shuffle off elsewhere.
I would like a bottle of whiskey, please.
Right, you are then. Looks down, pulls up one from under the bar, and it is just it is a solid bottle, like not like a huge bottle, but like a small bottle, like the kind you might, like maybe like 50, like half a liter. So like it's enough. Like, look
How
at
much?
Counts it out in his head. Call it 3 gold pieces.
Cracking.
Right, you are. And
Celestia just buys it, and she just takes the top off and just makes a start.
By the time you've counted out 2 of the gold pieces, the gnome at the bar slaps down a third. Like, looks up at you. You look like you're having a rough night. And there's this way when he speaks, his eyes just slightly too wide. There's a kind of a grin. Like, not like he's mocking you, just like he's perpetually there.
Yes. Yes. Do you have a problem with that?
Not particularly. Do you want to have a fight?
Yes?
Yeah.
No?
Fuck it.
What?
She hits him.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Oh god, this is such a bad idea. I'm so squishy. Fuck. This isn't going to go well. Okay.
It's what Celestia would do.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is an attack roll for a punch? And that doesn't matter,
you
actually,
are
but just so I know.
So up to you either, because I guess you can use a punch as a finesse weapon, I suppose.
Do you have the tavern brawler feat?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Then it's proficiency
She's
plus
not gonna
strength or
shoot him,
dex,
so you know.
depending, I guess. I guess actually no, unless you it's unless you're a monk, it's strength.
Yeah.
So proficiency plus your strength modifier, and you do 1 damage plus your strength bonus.
Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because that was a 2, but I thought I should know in case I hit him again, so
He kind of ducks out of the way and grins.
Can I kick him in the shins?
Yeah, make an attack roll. The tankards.
This little half-goat tiefling thing runs in and kicks
I'm going to say
him
this
in
is a
the
glass tankard as well, just for extra fun.
So that is a 12.
12. That is not actually enough. I'm going to put fiddles back on
Which
for this.
doesn't matter, because if this was my strength bonus plus 1, that is 0. I can literally do no damage
You can
by
do
hitting
maybe
him.
1 damage, but yeah, it'd be 1 damage. And as you throw a punch, and he falls to the side and laughs. See, now we're talking! And he takes the glass tankard and smashes it against his own forehead,
Oh my god, fuck!
placing himself in a rage.
Oh no!
I'm gonna die. This is where I die. Like, this is the end.
And gleefully launches himself at you with a I think he can. This counts actually. So I'm going to call this a reckless attack.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah. No. So that definitely hits. That would
Of course
be.
it does.
Yeah. That would be like a 3, a non-natural 20.
Of course it fucking hits. I'm a bard.
He does. This is all non-lethal damage, by the way, because you're keeping it friendly. He does 2 points, or actually no, he's in a raid. He does 4 points of
Shit.
punching damage to you.
That's quite a lot.
Yes.
At this moment, I witnessed this occur.
Yeah.
I'm in mid-stride towards going to meet up with my friend.
And then your friends do something stupid
and I go,
instead.
and I hold up a finger and I was 1 second. Rolls up his imaginary sleeves. And
Celestia's really far gone now, by the way. She just goes, "Come and get me, you fucker!"
actually, important point. Where is this gnome in relative to them, and how tall is he?
He is a shimmeringly high 3'1".
Okay, so
He's taller than
a couple
you.
of inches in on me, alright.
How is this working when he's hitting me? I'm 6'4".
He pulls it. He's already on a high bar stool. And I'm just going to say, for the sake of this, he pulls himself up onto the bar and throws a punch and just catches you on the jaw.
He's on the bar, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
giggling like a nutter.
Break into a light run.
Yep.
I am going to use the bar stool as leverage,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try and uppercut his bollocks.
Oh! You make your attack with advantage because he is fighting recklessly.
Okay.
Oh,
That's right. Okay, that was right. So it would be my strength plus proficiency for that. Right. So that was a 19.
That hits roll. Actually, its damage is 1 down. Actually, are you using the bar stool?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Improvised weapon. Then I'm going to say 1d6 plus.
Right.
Because it's a large
Plus
weapon.
strength.
You're kind of using it both hands.
My
Yeah.
strength is 3.
Okay.
That's 6 damage.
Oh, half to 3 because raging. But as you knock him, I'm going to see you knock him off the bar and into some of the, fortunately, mostly empty bottles. And there is a crash. So several of the members of the bar look over. And at this point, people are suddenly scrambling as this halfling, now covered in glass cuts, this gnome covered in glass cuts, kind of sets up, giggling, and now finally I'm having some decent entertainment in this town.
what the fuck is wrong with him?
Okay, in this very very impromptu initiative, I'm going to say then it's Celestia.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So Celestia, as a bonus action, if you will allow this, is going to down as much of the whiskey she left on the bar as she possibly can.
Okay,
And then she's going to punch him in the face.
Yeah, go for it.
So I've got advantage, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh god, right. And you said it's proficiency plus dex or strength?
Strength.
Oh shit, that's good. Okay, so that's a 22.
Yeah. No, you lamp him. How much damage?
What is the damage again? Sorry, I've lost track.
Strength plus 1.
Okay, just strength?
Yeah.
So that's 2.
Okay. Whack!
Half to 1 because he's raging.
You give him a bloody lip. And he just seems to just ignore it. Oh, finally! Isn't it good to get some aggression out, Scamp?
Celestia's gonna go, fuck yes, and just carry on.
Oh wow.
Scamp?
So where is this gnome at the moment?
He's currently standing on the bar, he's stepped back. I'm going to say, he's actually no, he was not. So he's currently kind of sprawled on one of the drinks sort of racks after having been knocked into them by the bar stool.
I'm just going to jump on him and try and bite him.
Okay, go for it. Make an attack roll.
It's full of pounce. What am I rolling?
Just strength plus proficiency.
Oh dear.
You'll do 1 point of damage.
Well, that is a natural 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
You slip, and you crash into the bottles yourself, ending up prone on the ground. You kind of you shield your head before several bottles are able to break on you. But you are now soaked with alcohol.
I am not casting any flame things anytime soon.
Oh, don't do that. You'll get in a lot of trouble.
Okay, that makes it Fighty's go. Fighty launches himself off the bar, grabs you by the lapels, still reckless attacks.
Fighty.
Yeah, fighty. And says, and actually, this might not hit. This is an 11?
Versus who?
Oh, that does not hit me.
Oh, versus Celestia, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, only gets one.
I have an armor class.
Yes, only gets one
Sometimes.
hit in. And he's not dual wielding, so he doesn't get his bonus attack actions. So he kind of grabs you and grabs you by the lapels and makes to nut you and goes, Name's Fighty Gabbinswick, pleased to meet you. And he goes to nut you and you just pull back out of the way before he can.
Celestia's gonna go, nice to meet you too.
Okay, that makes it Corzin's go.
Trying to hurt him.
Corzin, okay. Is the bar stool still intact?
Intact enough, yep.
Right. Actually, is it one of those four-legged bar stools that have kind of like crossbars at the bottom?
Yeah, it's one of those types.
Right, I am going to attempt to hook that crossbar around his neck and drag him to the ground.
Oh yes! I'm going to call this an opposed athletics check.
Right, okay. Oh, I'm quite good at athletics too.
Excellent. Glad somebody is.
That's going to be a 17.
He has advantage because he's raging. No, you catch him and he's locked in there, but he's holding it. He doesn't pull off, and now he's holding it back to try and grabs onto your arms to stop you from letting go of it.
Okay.
So he's stuck in the cage, but you can't pull him off the bar, and he is just grinning, his eyes glinting.
Okay.
That makes it Celestia's go.
So he's on the floor.
No, he's on the bar.
He's on the bar.
You've shoved it. He's been pulled off your lapels onto the bar. He's now trapped in this cage of a bar stool, and is also not letting Corzin let go of him.
Oh.
Okay. Celestia again, as a bonus action, is going to down as much of the bottle of whiskey as she can get into her.
Yeah.
And then she's going to go, it's Celestia Stardust, by the way.
Make
crack him on the head with a whiskey
Constitution
bottle.
save against alcoholism.
Oh, it's gonna
I'm not
hurt.
alcoholism, but just...
My constitution's really good. So.
Oh,
that's like a 14 actually. It's not
Okay,
too bad.
you actually hold your liquor.
I stay standing anyway.
Oh, you were being ironic when you said it's really good.
Oh, it's really not good.
Minus one, I think.
But yeah, and then she's gonna try and lamp him with a whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
With the remaining whiskey that's in it.
Yeah, with what's left of the whiskey. Fuck, you've drunk a lot.
I have.
Okay,
I've drunk as much
go
as I
for
can
it.
get into me
Make an
at that
attack roll.
Oh, that's really good. So that is, I'm assuming it's strength plus proficiency.
Yeah.
22.
Oh, nice. The bottle breaks, but roll 1d4 plus your strength.
Okay. So that is a 4.
Nice. After 2, but still. The bottle smashes over his head. And it leaves several shallow cuts as it does so, splashing him with whiskey, which he kind of licks his lips. Now that's what I call strong alcohol.
I say, that's bloody good whiskey, isn't it? I say to him over the bar.
Oh, it's absolutely worth the gold piece. Scamp.
Is the barman just looking at this in horror?
You get up. That takes half your movement.
I am going to just grab his leg and try and sink my fangs into his ankle.
Okay, make an attack roll.
I'm going to use a different dice. That one can fuck off. Oh, that's so much better. That's a 3.
3, yeah. From the exterior perspective, this dwarf is now just trying to nom on this nose leg in a frantic fight. No, we're going back to Fiddles, Luke. He kind of kicks you off as you try to get a bite in. Okay, so for Fighty's turn, he reaches down to the bar, picks up his hat, and pulls it onto his head before grinning at you, Corzin, picking up the, pulling and sort of looping over the bar stool with his hands on it. So it goes over his head and is now trying to grab you netted in the bar stool. So this is an opposed athletics check.
All right. I am so into this right now. Okay, that's going to be a 13.
Natural 20.
Good athletics, Jesus! I saw what you rolled.
Natural 20.
Oh.
With you having to stand on the bar as well to manage this, he grabs you, grins, and goes, now, so you got to say, this is a good night, and sweeps you along the bar, taking several glasses in the process, before knocking you behind the bar as the halfling back there desperately pulls out of the way. You smack into several bottles, and Fighty kind of winks at you all, pulls literally a handful of gold, tosses them down after you, sort of in the direction of the barman, and says, "We've got to do this again," and stumbles off towards the back exit.
What the fuck just happened?
I'm just going to start sucking alcohol out of my very soaked cloak.
Celestia's going to pick up the handful of gold, not even really caring how much it is. Take it over to the barman and just be like, "Don't call the watch or anything."
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Go on.
Fuck. No, that didn't even get out of the dice tower. Come on. No, again! Kill me. Oh, God, no. That would be... Oh, that'd be a 10.
Kind of takes the gold. Sure!
I put 5 more on the table myself, out of my purse.
Sweeps it away. Well, so long as you're done for the night. He kind of looks meaningfully at the exit, where you can see Lucky Lucy with his arms folded, watching this all with a big shit-eating grin.
Potentially interesting bloke there.
I'm really quite drunk.
Yeah,
it's
probably ease up a bit right now. I've got to go and speak with someone. I'll be back.
Okay, I think maybe you... Who are you talking to? Is it your... Do we need to be there?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the other pub, because I don't think this one likes me anymore.
No, you just... And I, actually, before I walk over there, I lean across to the barman and I say, she's had a bit of a rough day, as you can probably tell.
Yes. He's kind of strange smile now.
It was maybe just some gin and tonic water and just leave out the gin.
He kind of looks. The rest of the even the bard is kind of like very stop playing momentarily before awkwardly picking it back up. Says, "How about I let you drink it off in one of the back rooms?"
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Come on.
That would... Thank you, you're a scholar and...
I'm just pulling up. It's
I sort of pat the barman on the shoulder, so...
Okay, Scamp, are you going to stay with Celestia or follow Corzin?
I'll keep an eye on Celestia.
Okay, you stay.
I think it's safest.
Who's childminding who now? In fact, I'm going to
I'm sober-ish.
I'm going to ask that in character. So, who's childminding who now?
I am an adult dwarf.
I am definitely the parent in this relationship. I gave her a hug when she was crying yesterday, so that means I'm the parent.
Practically family, yes. Right you are. Now,
Celestia, as she says the thing about the crying, starts crying a little bit and goes off to the back room to do a bit more.
Horrendous alcohol tears.
I say, well, good to see you again, Lucky. I suppose that's just pretty much put paid to my making a subtle entrance to this place.
Yeah. Looks like Looks like a bit of an interesting time. She clasps your arm in the full Beastmaster sort of, grasps the forearm thing. Good to see you, Corzin. Why don't we get a drink at the Pig? Maybe keep out. I think maybe the Bluecoats might be making a bit of investigation here. What with that disturbance?
You still on good terms with Farron?
Good enough.
That's as much as anyone is. Alright.
She gives you a one-armed hug, and the pair of you make your way off towards the Pig, where the Stuck Pig, where she, nodding to Theron, takes a corner booth.
I say to Farron, I believe you were saving something for me.
That I was. And he brings round the ale, having already drunk the the depth charge, and also a mug of rum for Lucky Lucia. He gives you a bit of privacy, and the pair of you sit down. Well, it's certainly a little interesting to see you back in town. And you here for the last Harvest Festival tomorrow, or?
Oh well, I could be, but actually, it was something I was wondering.
Aye.
We've been tracking a Thorinese slaver for the past couple of days, and I'm not sure if you saw any of those salty landlubbers back there, but they were apparently the only survivors of it.
So I hear. Bit of a sad story. Well, depending on your perspective, I suppose. But no, I was listening to their story myself.
You ever serve on a ship with red sails?
Serve? No. Might know a tale or two, but and she pointedly just drains her rum, sits down. Throat's a bit dry for that. Gives you a wink.
What's your poison?
Get me a cup of the Orcus Exo. We'll go from there.
Orcus Exo.
Yeah. And it's a gold piece for a cup of what is essentially like full-on Ferosian brandy.
Right.
That's She gives you a grin and a nod. All right.
Plink.
They call her the Scarlet Wind.
The Scarlet Wind.
She's a pirate ship, no privateer, and to hear the tale, she's been preying on shipping everywhere from the Dragon Coast to the colonies for the past dozen years. They say she's got a fearsome reputation, doesn't take prisoners, and doesn't accept surrenders, which is bullshit. No pirate turns down an easy capture. She can be fought off. I was lucky enough to be on a ship that did so.
Who's her crew?
Uncertain. See, the thing is, I reckon you can put any set of sails up on a ship and call it the Scarlet Wind. I reckon there's 2 or 3, given how widely spaced there are. Crew at the time was proper ragtag mix, actually. There was a lizardman amongst them, if you could believe that. All manner of races. Halflings, orcs, humans, the whole lot. Curious types. Type you get from pirates, though. Renegades. People looking for a free life. But I've heard a thing or two about them making port before. Not with the sails. You know, they'll have other sails they can put up. But the thing about privateering as opposed to pirating, and I I may have done one or two or both in my time. She gives a bit of a grin.
I return it.
Is that unlike a privateer who has some measure of protection, in a legal sense, from at least one country in exchange for half of your prize, well, as a privateer, you get legal contracts. You can go places and find people who will willingly take your merchandise at a reduced rate, perhaps, and you'll be able to spend your money in the sun, so long as you don't say, and she gives you another grin, make port in or Syria or Thrine, at least during the current conflict. But a pirate's got to be a bit more choosy about where they make port, especially if there's a bounty out for them, when by now the Scarlet Wind has racked up quite a bounty. So they've got to know the right black market channels. I know a guy who might know a guy. I could make, since it's you, and we are old friends, I could be willing to make an introduction. Those other two in the bar fight there, they're travelling with you, are they?
They're part of the same crew I am.
I think my friend might be willing to have a chat with you, and maybe them as well. He's been looking for someone to fill some free slots on a job that's coming up pretty soon, and I think he'd appreciate some people who can handle themselves.
This friend of yours have a name?
Aye. And you bring your friends round and we'll do a face-to-face introduction. You wouldn't have met him directly. It goes by Calcinea. Let's just say he has about as much love for the Harbour Master as you do. And I think he bought a whole round of drinks for everyone in the pig when you pulled that stunt you did. So I think he'd be very happy to meet you.
Well, never could stand to see some prig not brought down a peg or two.
Gives you a nod. Alright.
How long did it take him to wash out the smell?
Oh, they say 3 days. With a bath every night. Bring your companions round. I'll be waiting here. When you're ready, he's got a bit of a place downstairs. She nods towards one of the back room doors.
Right you are.
I'll tell him you're coming.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Sorry.
She takes it. She puts her hand over the remains of your tankard of ale and raises a cup of whiskey gratefully. Cup of brandy gratefully.
Great.
You head back to the milkmaid's. To the mermaid's milk. You can see. Keeping a weather eye out, there are now a couple of blue-coated militia guards, kind of not standing guard, but they are kind of picking. You can see that they are kind of standing near the entrance, looking in. One of them, kind of hand in his head, is like, "Oh bloody hell!"
Okay, I pull my tricorn down slightly.
Okay.
And attempt to take advantage of my lack of height. And just travel neatly underneath their sight line.
Make a stealth check.
It's just small.
It's so tiny.
That's a natural one.
Oh god, fuck.
Oh.
You walk straight between them, and
I completely mistime it and end up walking between one of their legs.
you see one of the legs. He looks down. Wait a minute. And moves to clamp a hand down on your shoulder. I know you!
No, you don't.
Okay, unless you have a choice here. You can make an acrobatics or athletics check to try and shrug that off and escape and evade him, or you can make a deception check and try and really convince him that he doesn't know you.
Oh my god.
Athletics.
Okay.
Okay, that's gonna be a...
That roll was nearly really bad.
It's gonna be a 21.
He moves from, and you just sort of and move straight forward. I'm going to say make another stealth check because you can move between legs quite easily in this
And
crowd,
tables.
and both of them are human.
Okay, that's gonna be 12.
8. They immediately the both of them chase after you, and you just sort of duck between legs at tables, and they're immediate. By the time they're both struggling, pushing people past, like hey, get out of the way, get out of the way! You are already on the other side of the room. They're searching in the wrong direction, and you quickly nip into the back room where Celestia and Scamp are.
I pull my tricon back up and say,
Celestia's a weeping mess on the floor, basically. She's saying things like, "Oh, she's probably dead, isn't she? I mean, that's
No.
probably right. That's
No.
what is happening. She's murdered by pirates. That's what's going on."
not necessarily. Now, I have something that involves all three of us here. We need to go back to the stuck pig immediately.
Okay, why?
There's an old friend of mine there who has the ability to introduce us to someone who might be able to shed some further light on the situation.
On the ship? The pirate ship?
Yeah, red sails.
Alright, let's go. Celestia lurches to her feet.
Okay, make
Right.
another.
Like, aggressively wipes
I
the
think at
tears
this
off her
point you
face.
solidly failed your Constitution save.
Hang on. Are you wearing your backpack currently?
Yes, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
How full is it?
I mean, if you took your offer Clyde out and carried it in front of you, it would have a lot more space.
I'm going to take this out. Take my overclad out.
Right, okay. You do that, and I climb into
I
her
strap the
backpack.
overclad to my shoulder. I assume
Yep,
there's a
yeah,
strap.
there's a strap as well.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I climb into your backpack and hide.
Okay.
This is adorable! So
Just
cute!
because,
Sorry.
purely because you are drunk, I would like you to make a deception check if you're heading out the front.
Talking to the bar like, I didn't have a halfling in my bag, everything's fine. Deception.
Only way I'm gonna get out.
Am I, like, how drunk am I? Am I drunk enough for disadvantage, or am I just drunk? Like, because I assume I'm pretty fucking drunk, to be honest.
You are pretty fucking drunk. I don't know. I feel like, with the disadvantage, you are that.
I think
you've downed an entire bottle
I've
of
downed
whiskey.
almost, like, 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey that you said was, like, half a
More
litre,
like 9
so,
tenths.
yeah. Oh, shit, that's a natural one, mate.
Oh, good.
You bump right into one of the two guards who's busy searching, and Corzin, you just can't help but go, "Ooh!" He looks up.
Oh, what?
So that's my cat.
He looks at you. Make another check with disadvantage. Deception check with disadvantage.
I don't deserve a check for that. Oh, shit. That is a... Where the fuck's my deception? 9.
5.
Can I
He looks at
minor
you.
illusion the sound of a
Oh,
cat?
it's a 9, not a 5. Yeah.
Okay. No. He got a 5. And he's about to... He's opening his mouth about to question us further when the sound of a cat comes out. I'm like, why are you smuggling? Why do you have a cat? Never mind. Have you seen a halfling around here? It's about 2'4", has a big tricorn.
I just sway at him. Mate, I can't even see you right now. There are at least 3 of you.
Shoves you out of the way. Get out of my way. We've got to search the back rooms.
If you have any latent psychic ability, you feel the indignancy coming off of Corzin within your backpack at being described as 2'4".
I love that that's out of this situation. That's the thing that fucks him off.
Yeah. You stumble out of the room.
They're just doing their job. He would respect that, but the fact that they, They take a short pass and they make it even shorter.
Okay. You make your way to the stuck pig, where, like, stopping in an alleyway just behind, Corzin clambers out of the bag. And
actually, no, it would be like getting out of a the cab of a lorry for Corzin.
Yeah.
That high up, it's like.
God, height differences are so funny. Oh, I love them.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make an acrobatics check. Well, that's not good.
That's really bad.
That's I think that's a 9.
okay, you take 4 points of damage from just like kind of spraining your ankle a bit as you land.
4 point, Jesus Christ.
I've rolled a d4.
No, that's fair enough.
No, that just is a bad spray.
Yeah, it's
like,
like,
Jesus.
I
You're
thought
limping a
cats
bit.
always landed on their feet.
So you head into some of you more unsteadily than others.
That did more damage to me than the Phil's fever.
That's ridiculous.
You head somewhat unsteadily, to varying degrees, each of you, into the stuck pig, where Theron is. Theron is. You can see is at the back. The Lucia's not in the booth, but Theron, kind of polishing a mug, makes eye contact with you, Corzin, and nods to one of the back doors. Making your way over there, you open the door and you can see that it leads down several steps into a basement, and there is a cloying sort of floral scent to the place.
Floral, did you say?
Yeah, floral. It's kind of sweetish. And as you come in, you can see it opens into another room where a number of people, maybe 8 or so, some halflings, some human, one elf, are lying back on couches, smoking long pipes with some sort of thick, tarry black substance in.
Oh, I should definitely be breathing this in when I'm this pissed.
You've got the feeling you probably need to smoke it directly to get more of a high, but
Good.
yes. Just for fun, make a wisdom check. Anyone who wants
Both
to.
of us?
Yeah, anyone who wants to.
Ooh,
Forgot what my
3.
wisdom is. That would be an 18.
18. Okay.
A 13.
Okay. You, Corzin and Celestia, you can correctly work out the sub-race of the elf in question. Reclining on the chair, smoking opium, is indeed a high elf. But you can see that...
A high elf.
A high elf. You are an absolute fucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the back of the
10
opium den,
points for the
however...
DM.
I lose inspiration. At the back of the... you can see at the back of the den, standing in front of the door, is Lucia, who nods to you, still holding your drink, beckons and opens the door. She sets the drink down on a table, and you can see a figure behind. He's got a broad-brimmed hat, but he removes, kind of looks up at you as you enter. Lucia closes the door behind you as the three of you make your way, and you can see that there are. It's actually it's kind of like a square table. On one side there is this figure seated, and there are 4 other seats laid out. Corzin, your drink is laid in front of one of them. Lucia is in front of her brandy's in front of another, and there's a couple of just ales have been laid out for Scamp and Celestia. And the figure kind of peers up from beneath this broad-brimmed hat with a bit of a glinting, very green eye, and goes, let me find this. So, I am told you are Corzin Horhace, yes?
Who wants to know?
The figure removes his hat and extends one hand. And as the hat comes off, you can see this figure looks fairly human for the most part. Has kind of very deep, dark brown skin, not as almost like very deep kind of like ebony dark as Theron, but just like more sort of Middle Eastern sort of in appearance.
Yeah.
But he has I'm going to say just black slicked back black hair, but has two sleek straight spiral horns, like a spiral horned antelope, that kind of come back and were hidden by the hat. He has the tips of his fingers, which are not gloved at this time, are slightly green scaled. He has viridian, like proper, like bright green eyes, which seem human for a moment and then revert as the thaumaturgy passes to the shape of snake eyes. And as he talks, you see he has a snaked hand, a forked tongue, and has many rings on his fingers as well. I'd just like to say, Casimir, it is a pleasure.
Celestia's drunk. Celestia Stardust, nice to meet you.
Takes his other hand, shakes yours. A pleasure.
I do. Yeah, shake. So.
Shakes Corzin's hands.
It's,
Take a seat. Lucia has mentioned that you've come into town. He looks around. In the spittoon, Lucia. You can see that Lucia has been chewing tobacco and is about to spit it out on the floor and sort of rolls her eyes. There's a brass spittoon in one corner and she spits the one chewing tobacco into it. Take a seat. Casimir cracks his fingers against each other, sits down. You can see he's got a small glass of wine, which he takes a sip from. So, I have been wanting to meet you ever since you dropped old Harbour Master Anchor into the drink all those years ago. It was a good prank.
My reputation precedes me, it seems.
You know they have a warrant for you on property damage. Property damage.
I'd be fucking insulted if it weren't so funny.
Well, Lucia...
I saw one plank. One plank.
My friend, if they catch you, I'm sure they would try and get you the full month in jail just to stop you getting back on your ship. The harbour master, not so much of a sense of humour.
No, well, that was half the problem.
So, from what I hear... well, on to business. Lucia mentions you're looking about this ship, the Scarlet Wind, and where it might make its sail. To allay a fear, which I believe you might have. And he looks at you, Celestia. Looks you up and down, kind of noting that you're a drow. I understand. Perhaps you had valuable cargo that you wanted to reach its destination. These things happen. If I'm honest with you, it might be cheaper for you to buy new stock, but
it's not cargo.
No, for whatever reason, then you'll probably have to buy it off off whoever buys it. You see, slaves, they are worth their weight in cotton. So there is maybe even silver for some. So you would not waste good cargo as a pirate. You would bring the slaves on board to sell elsewhere.
So where do you reckon it's taken to sell?
Not here, I can tell you that much. And I have a couple of contacts to the south of here, but we have ways of keeping in contact, and they've not mentioned anything. With a little bit of our least checking. No, I reckon they will want to shift their cargo here on the Dragon Coast. They'll not want to sail far. The less time you spend keeping slaves on board, the less food you have to spend. The sooner you can get it to someone with the facilities to properly house them.
But you don't think they'd have killed any of them if they could help it?
No, not unless they fought back excessively. And presented with guns, it is likely they may well have they would have surrendered. Few men are willing to die for their freedom, and those that would have probably leapt overboard and tried to swim to shore. from those that I know of such types. No, I suspect they have been taken on to be sold to a new buyer. Now, I am part of what you might call an organization. I primarily help people get things that they cannot get easily themselves, or perhaps they feel that the duties and tariffs that the crown exacts are too onerous. I help move things under the harbour master's watch, that sort of things. And sometimes I help move things to new owners that their previous owners have desperately lost. You understand. And my organization does this all across the continent. Now I am in charge here. But perhaps I know a person in Crosswater who is more of a hub for this, who would know where those goods would be sold.
Well, where's the nearest place to here that they could be?
Probably
Stolen slaves.
Crosswater would be the easiest drop, but there are a few places. A number of ports along the Dragon Coast. Perhaps they could try to sell them on the Dragon Archipelago, but I would doubt it. They are not, except as occasional feedstock, they would not be interested in slaves and for the dragons. They have plenty enough servants of their own. No, it will be somewhere on the continent. I suspect that most of them would either be sold off to a warehouse where they would be kept for a time, and then with new identification documents rebranded and sent back off towards the colonies, or perhaps sold as menial slaves.
Would they, when they rebranded, would they cover up the old brand?
No, most it is hard to convincingly get rid of proper old brands. Most likely they would fake some documentation over a sale and cover it in that manner. Now, I could perhaps make an introduction to my good friend in Crosswater, who would definitely know where the Crimson Wind would be putting in its sails. After all, nothing comes onto the black market without the king's knowing. But
what do you want?
My friend, we have just met, and while I have heard much of some of Corzin's reputation, we are strangers. I would like us to be friends, and so that I know I can trust you, I would like your assistance in a little job. It pays, and I will make the introduction for you as well. I'll tell you where you need to go and give you what you need to be recognized as someone who can be trusted, because trust is important in our business.
I understand.
Good. Now, there is a troublesome figure, Jacques Ancre, the harbour master of this town, also its cleric. He is problematic. He's a retired adventurer. Very powerful, very strong, has much sway over the mayor. I mean, we have our own sway over the mayor, but he is like a weather vane in the wind, flip-flops wherever the strongest gust is pushing him. And, well, he causes us trouble. Of late, he has annoyed me especially by intercepting something of mine, which I was looking forward to receiving. These things happen, but I am eager to get that back. And besides, with this operation being upset, a little embarrassment would go a good way to redressing the balance. So, tomorrow, you may have heard, is Last Harvest Festival. It is the festival of the last harvest before the winter comes in. And it is also a high holy day. Certainly in these parts. It is a holy day of St. Capron. So, of course, the priest, the cleric of the temple, will need to be there to perform the rites. During tomorrow at noon, the festival kicks off. And for 15 minutes after that time, our dear Harbour Master Anchor must perform the rites necessary to appease the spirits, to praise the saints. If not, the spirits will be annoyed. He knows this, and his work depends heavily upon such conjunctions being in place. So with that in mind, he will most likely not break that offer any time. So that is 15 guaranteed minutes when he will be out of his house. So that is the time when I would like to rob him blind and retrieve both what is important to me and a certain amount of gold, which will be freely shared in appropriate portions with everyone who assists. Now, there are a few downsides. He has a certain, let us call it what it is, a gang. You have had your own tangles with them in the past, Corzin. I understand they had a bit of fun with their boots. But they paint themselves as something more holier than they are. They call themselves the Pious, a group of rough men and women who like to use their fists and their staves and their hammers to ensure that people attend church, are properly virtuous. You know the type. If they think that someone is sleeping outside of their marriage, they will go and beat them. If they think that someone is living impiously, they will go and show them the error of their ways.
They're a bunch of ham-fisted brutes.
Fucking
Exactly.
busybodies by the sound of it.
I have little time for them, but while they do not carry firearms, because that would be the limit of what the watch could possibly tolerate, the protection of their patron allows them a certain amount of force, and they certainly do carry blunt weapons, disguised, of course, as tools. So, while the big fish will no doubt be busy dealing with the festival, it is likely that he will leave some of his lesser shoal protecting the house. They will be a concern. This is why I am looking for people with your skills to assist me.
What is this thing?
What is it that you're looking for? We need to know.
Is a package delivered. He has a safe in his house. I can crack a safe. That is that is one of my specialties. But right now, after a little bit, unfortunately, with the seizure of the shipment, some of my more regular crew were taken in as well. They will be out in time, but they will be spending a month or so behind bars until such time as the grease can work its way into the wheels. And I find myself bereft of my usual assistants. I know that he carries a good portion of gold in there as well, which we'll split 5 ways. Lucia will be acting as bodyguard and will be preparing the escape route. Not bodyguard, sorry, lookout, and will be preparing the escape route. Lucia nods. My eyes are still as sharp as they ever were, even if my muscles aren't what they were in my fighting days. Exactly.
So, you'd want us to bring you the whole safe. Is that right?
No, I will be coming with you.
Okay.
We will be breaking into the house. I want you for your assistance if things go wrong. I would also like your input in preparing on the plan, which we'll go into more detail on. And then, if you get me to the safe, I will work to crack it. If we are running short of time, then we will have to take it with us. But if I can get the safe open, I can retrieve what is mine. We can take his gold, which I think will hurt him in a very annoying way. And we should be able to make off. Before we go into the details of the plan, which might take a while, I want to know, is this something that you think you could assist me with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
I
you,
guess.
All right, then. He cracks his fingers.
Got nothing
No.
else to do.
In that case, let us plan a heist. And that, for tonight, is where we close.
So many things just happened.
Yeah.
It was like
as
having a
always,
small heart attack for
Yeah.
about 4 hours, but in a
you.
fun way.
Thank you for playing. thank you for listening. And farewell from us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
The pen cuts deeper than the sword, makes you wish you'd performed mail fraud. She was carried off like a stolen rose. I'll rescue her from the rough wind's throes.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.